wallet and rushed for the door, almost tripping as she pulled up her underwear and pants. She burst through the door, not noticing it hit the wall hard and leave a mark. "Mom, where are you?" She raced down the stairs. "Mom! What is it, dear? What's happening?" She held up the small plastic item in her hand. "I'm going to have a baby!" Tears of joy filled her eyes as she hugged her mother. "Oh, wow! That's amazing! I'm so happy for you! Let's call Kyle and tell him—" "No! I want to drive home right now and surprise him. We've been trying for months. He will be so happy. I can't wait to see his face when I share the news. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mom. I know I was going to stay for the weekend and see all your friends tonight, but I have to go." "Of course. Let me help you pack so you don't forget anything. And drive safely. Remember, you have to take care of yourself now." "You're right. I'm so excited. If I leave now, I should be home by 7. She hugged her mom tightly. "Mom, I love you. Thank you for always supporting me. I'll keep you updated." 3 hours later, she arrived at their small house. Great. His car was there, so she wouldn't need to search for him. But what if he went out with friends? She left her suitcase in the car, ran up the steps, and quietly entered the house. She wanted this to be a surprise. The lights were on as she crossed the living room. No Kyle. She paused. Why were there 2 glasses on the table? Not in the bathroom. She walked quietly down the hall to the bedroom, holding her pregnancy test. Maybe he was just resting. As she entered the bedroom, she saw Kyle lying face down on the bed. Her heart raced. Then she noticed a familiar figure beside him. Shock and disbelief swept over her. She took a step closer and let out a pained gasp when she recognized the woman. "Emily?" The woman turned her head and both were filled with horror at the surprise of seeing each other. "Ava, I'm so sorry. Kyle, get off!" They looked at each other, stunned. Friends since childhood. Kyle turned onto his side and watched. Emily jumped out of bed crying. "Ava, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry." She held her arms out, hoping for some sign of understanding, anything other than the horror on Ava's face, which was now changing to sadness and pain. Ava turned and ran to the cupboard, grabbed a couple of trash bags, and started packing clothes into them. She rushed to the bathroom next, stuffing things in without caring if they broke. Emily searched for her own clothes, looking for a shirt or anything to cover herself. She felt so ashamed and dirty. "Ava, please, let me explain. I don't know how it happened. I don't know why I let it happen. Please, let me talk to you." "What's there to talk about, Emily?" Both were crying, feeling alone and needing each other's comfort, both feeling the weight of their painful emotions. "I never thought..." "Never thought what? Did you really think this would end well, Emily? What did you think would happen?" Ava shook her head in disbelief as she packed up the clothes, pain clearly visible on her face. Then, in a broken voice, she asked, "Did you think we would all just be one big happy family? I don't know which hurts more. The fact that my husband of 2 years cheated on me, or that you, my best friend for over 20 years, would do this to me. How long?" Between sobs, she cried, "How long?" Emily shrugged. "About 6 months. 6 months. So you and Kyle. 6 months and I never knew, never suspected. 6 months while we were both doing things together. You were with my husband. How could I not see it? He spent a quarter of our marriage with you. How could I be so blind?" She wiped her tears on her sleeves. "But today? Today of all days, my special day. One of the happiest days of my life." She looked up, searching for answers. "Why?" In a few moments, she was out the door, dragging 2 bags and an armful of clothes. She tossed them into the back seat of her car, and they fell to the floor in a messy pile. Just like her life, she thought. A mess. But the difference was that she felt broken inside, ripped apart by what had just happened, not just tossed aside. She sped out of the driveway, but then remembered the baby and slowed down. She stopped, took out her phone, blocked their numbers, and turned it off. Then she drove onto the interstate, heading back to her mother's house. As the door to the house closed behind Emily, Kyle got out of bed and hugged her from behind. She was still staring at the door, her hand reaching for her friend who was now gone in every way. "It'll be okay, Emily. She'll be okay. We were already separated and figuring things out. These things just happen." She turned around and held him close. "Oh, Kyle, what have I done? How did I think this would end?" she cried on his shoulder. Come on, let's sit on the couch for a bit and talk about it. 3 hours later, she left the highway and drove past gas stations, convenience stores, and fast food places. She passed car parts shops and tire stores and finally arrived in her hometown. The place she grew up in, the place she cherished. She knew every street and made her way around the town square. During Christmas, this square was full of holiday cheer, and now it was bright with spring flowers. It was getting late, but couples still strolled hand in hand or cuddled on benches. Usually this scene felt warm to her, but now it hurt her heart. Tears began to flow again. 4 roads came together at the square, leading to very different neighborhoods with many people. She loved them all, but she chose the road that went to her mother's house, her true home. Maybe there she could find some peace and ease her pain. She pulled her bags up the red brick steps, which matched the brick walls of the house, and went through the porch. She opened the door without knocking, relieved it was unlocked as her mom often forgot. She stumbled into the living room feeling like a lost child. Then, like a child, she sank to her knees and cried out, "Mom!" Her mom hurried out of the bedroom, not even putting on a robe. She dropped to her knees and hugged Ava tightly. "Ava, what happened? Are you okay? Did something go wrong? What is going on?" Through tears, Ava managed to say, "When I walked in, he was with her." "With who, dear?" "He was with Emily." "What? Oh no, I can't believe this. Are you sure?" "Of course you're sure. Just let it all out, Ava. We'll figure things out tomorrow." Her mom held her close and later guided her to her old bedroom, filled with childhood memories. She fell asleep in her old bed, a place of comfort. Her mom covered her with a quilt she made years ago. Though exhausted, memories kept waking her up. Emily. Why Emily? 7 months later, Ava wore a loose black dress, the only one that fit over her growing belly. "Looks like you're carrying the baby just like I did," her mom had told her. They parked at the back of the church lot, hoping no one would see her. She still couldn't believe she received an invitation to Emily's wedding. What was this about? Was it meant to hurt her? But why was she even there? Maybe she should just go. She waited until everyone else had gone into the church, drove to the front, and walked in. She was familiar with the place. She and Kyle always came here, entering through a side door and sitting in the last pew next to the aisle. She lowered her head, wearing a large hat that covered her hair, hoping no one would recognize her. She felt curious. Why was she even invited? She looked up. Kyle and his best man, James, were at the front on the platform. It looked like a nice crowd. The groom was on one side with his family and brothers. The bride's guests were on the other side. Emily's mom looked so happy. She was smiling brightly. What a lovely dress. The music began and she glanced up once more. Emily walked down the center aisle with her dad, followed by a flower girl and a ring bearer. Ava thought the kids were so cute. Emily looked amazing. She seemed full of life, radiant, wearing the same dress Ava had helped her pick when they went dress shopping together. It suited her perfectly. George dropped Emily off, gave her a quick kiss, and sat next to his wife. Emily's dad wiped away tears and Ava smiled to herself. He was such a nice person. Emily was lucky. Ava's own dad had left when she was 6, and she hadn't seen him since. Iris and Henry were like extra parents to her. What did they think about all of this? Their daughter marrying her best friend's husband. Despite everything, she missed Emily. They had never gone this long without seeing each other since they were very young. She looked at the maid of honor and sadly shook her head. That was supposed to be her, she thought. They had talked about it for years. This girl reminded her of her cousin from Georgia. "And so, Emily and Kyle, we have come to the part of the ceremony where you both will share your vows with each other. I understand you've written your own." Emily. "Thank you, Reverend," Emily said, her voice shaking a little. "Kyle," she laughed, "I have to confess that when I first met you I wasn't interested at all, but you brought me flowers and little gifts which led to lunches and then dinners." Ava felt a mix of anger rising in her. "And then," she continued with laughter, "well, anyway." The audience chuckled. "Before I knew it, I was madly in love with you and knew we were meant to be together forever. I will." Without thinking, Ava stood up, her face burning with embarrassment. She took off her hat, letting her hair fall down her shoulders, and spoke loudly in the small church. "Sorry to interrupt, everyone." All eyes turned toward her. Emily's face went pale, and Kyle looked uneasy. Emily's mom, Iris, stared at her in shock. Emily's dad started to rise, but Iris put a hand on his arm to keep him seated. "I feel like I'm in a strange dream or something. You all are here acting like this is some kind of fairy tale. The truth that Ava is leaving out is that Kyle was married to her best friend, a person who trusted her deeply and loved her like family, a friend who didn't see the signs and found out that the two had been together for 6 months before she caught them. Caught in her home, in her bed with her husband, the man she loved and thought she would be with forever." Ava suddenly felt a terrible cramp in her belly. She bent over thinking, "Not now, not here." The pain got worse, and then she felt a rush. She gasped and cried out, "Why, God?" Emily looked at her, filled with shock and sadness. She whispered, "Oh my God, Ava, you're expecting." "Yes, I am. What do you think, Kyle? And now it looks like my water has broken and I'm going into labor. Thanks a lot, Lord. Just what I needed. I was at my mom's when I found out I was pregnant. I rushed home to tell my husband the good news. Guess I was the one who got surprised." She chuckled lightly and shook her head. "Thanks for inviting me, Emily. Was that just to show off? Getting married a month after my divorce, which you had a part in? I hope you both have a happy life together. Enjoy it because there will be consequences for what you've done." "Sorry, Reverend. Sorry, everyone. I didn't mean to spoil this happy moment. Just blame it on my emotions." She groaned again, bending over in pain. A few women hurried over to help. No, I'm okay, really. Thank you so much, but I can handle it. Sorry about the mess." She glanced down, surprised by the amount. "I didn't expect that. I didn't mean to cause this." Tears streamed down her face as she met the eyes of Emily's mother, who was also crying. Iris silently mouthed, "I'm sorry, I didn't know," shaking her head sadly. Ava's dad looked perplexed. Ava pressed a hand to her heart. "I'm sorry too." Was she being honest? How could Iris not have known? How could they all be unaware? She made her way to the side door, got to her car, and headed to the ER, hoping to make it there before the next wave of pain hit. Great, she thought. I'm too far from home. I don't know the doctor, I don't know the hospital, and I don't have my emergency bag. Just another drop-in at the emergency department. "Mom, I'm in Hopewell. I'll explain everything later. I'm in labor, my water broke, I'm on my way to the emergency room." Unless I'm completely mistaken, it's time for us to welcome our new baby. Taking a deep breath to steady herself, Ava said, "Can you please grab my emergency bag and my bathroom things, then come here? And remember, drive safely this time. There's no need to hurry. You know how long these first deliveries can take? If this is just practice, I am not looking forward to the big moment. But I'm so excited I can hardly wait. No, I'm okay. I'll explain everything when you arrive. You might be embarrassed by me. Can't talk now, Mom." She groaned once more. "I have to go. Love you, Mom." As she drove to the hospital, Ava reflected on her recent past. She felt embarrassed. Her mom would be disappointed. She regretted attending the wedding, but then she hit the brakes. That guy, what a jerk! She had been thinking about Emily's vows and suddenly recognized that if they had been together for 6 months, Kyle must have been pursuing Emily for even longer. The way Emily described her experiences in her vows showed that the issues had started in her first year of marriage. A horn honked behind her, nudging her to move again, but somehow she felt a bit lighter as she shifted some of the blame from Emily to Kyle. A year? It must have lasted at least that long. Why didn't Emily tell me when it began? I can't believe I never noticed. How clueless am I? Never! Never again! Pain and cramps hit her again, forcing her to pull over until it passed. Focus, Ava, or you might end up having your baby in the car. 5 years later, she found herself parked in the back lot once more. Same church, dressed in black, waiting as long as possible. She checked her reflection. Her eyes were red and puffy from the tears of the last few days. Iris had passed away unexpectedly in her sleep. It could have been her heart or something else. She was still so young and had been like a second mother to Ava since kindergarten. Emily would be there. Ava hadn't seen or spoken to her since the wedding, and the thought of facing her made her anxious. But she owed it to Iris to attend the viewing and try to reconcile things with Emily. That had always been Iris's wish, almost a demand. How many times had Iris urged, "Please make the first move. You both need each other. I can see it in your faces. Something is missing in your lives, and it's each other. You're the strong one and must take the first step." Did she know something would happen to her? Regardless, Ava felt she had to go through with it. Besides, Henry would be there to help if things got tense with Emily, though she honestly wasn't sure how Emily would react. Steeling herself, she walked through the front doors of the church, the same one where the wedding took place. And there was Emily. The room was filled with people sharing kind words and memories. It was a beautiful day, yet something was missing. Ava's long black hair was neatly arranged, but her sparkle was gone. Ava felt a deep emptiness inside her. She had started to feel whole again with Rose in her life, but now there was a big space for Iris. The biggest gap, however, was where Emily used to be. Emily looked up and froze when she saw Ava. The people she was talking to noticed and quickly stepped aside, making way for Ava. Everyone knew their story. Ava walked cautiously to Emily, unsure of what to say, and stopped a short distance away. They looked at each other, both expecting the worst. Emily spoke first. "How did you find out?" "Your dad called." "Where is he? I need to see him," Ava replied. "He didn't come. He just couldn't." Ava nodded in understanding, then began to shake as tears rolled down her cheeks. "Emily, I am so sorry about your mother. I miss her so much. She was always there for me. It hurts. I feel so empty." The sorrow of loss weighed heavily on her, not just for Iris, but also for her friend. She had kept her feelings hidden for years, but facing Emily made everything come rushing back. After taking a breath and wiping her tears with her sleeve, she said, "I also apologize for what happened at your wedding. I shouldn't have gone. I ruined that day for you. I wish I had said something before or just stayed away. I don't know why I went." "I miss you, Emily. Is there any chance you can forgive me? There's a big space in my life where you should be, right next to the one for your mother. It was both our wishes to fix things, even if just a little. I promise I'll be fine with Kyle, too. I won't say a word. Where is—" As Ava spoke, Emily looked more confused, and suddenly she stepped forward and hugged Ava tightly. They held each other, both feeling the weight of sadness wash over them. Emily whispered, "Ava, I'm the one who should apologize, not you. I made a mistake and hurt you. I betrayed my best friend. It's all on me. Please forgive me. I felt terrible for 5 years, but I was too scared to say anything. I didn't even tell my mom. I can't keep feeling this way. And I miss you so much. I should have talked to you as soon as Kyle started showing interest in me." At first, there was nothing to share. I didn't even realize what was happening. When I suddenly saw that something was wrong, I felt guilty and unsure about how to talk to you. Pulling her in closer, I continued. Then it was too late to say anything. I felt so bad that I couldn't bring myself to tell you the truth. Well, I don't know what I was thinking. It tormented me every time I thought about what was happening or saw you. I felt so ashamed that I started to avoid you. Somehow, I thought everything would just be okay. I spoke to Kyle and he kept saying that you two were basically apart, that you didn't love him anymore but had not made it official yet. He said you had an understanding. Deep down, I knew that wasn't right, but I was scared to talk to you. I feared you would confirm that he was lying. I loved him, Ava. I am truly sorry. Breaking apart and looking straight into Emily's eyes, I asked, "Can we talk? I mean, after you finish here?" "Of course. We can talk for hours, days, whatever you want. Forever, if I could. Why don't you stand with me? You know these people just as well as I do. Mom would have wanted that." 30 minutes later, the last visitors had said their goodbyes and walked past the casket, which was empty. Iris had been cremated, and there was no burial. Emily took Ava's hand and led her into a bright area filled with sunlight streaming through a stained glass window. They sat close together, holding hands and looking into each other's eyes. Suddenly, Ava gasped. "Emily, where is your ring? Did I cause this? Did I do something wrong?" "No, absolutely not." Laughing, she added, "Other than standing up in front of a crowd and calling me out, then going into labor and spilling everything on the floor, I thought someone would have to clean it up." "No, it was really just a wake-up call. I should have canceled everything after you spoke. When I realized what was happening, I should have called off the wedding beforehand. I thought about what I had just said and realized that Kyle had influenced me right after you got married. I didn't notice until it was too late. Oh, Ava, I'm so sorry for what I did. It's all right, Emily, it's over now. But you did get married. Looking down, she replied, yes, I knew I shouldn't have done it. I should have run out of the church, especially because his vows were the same as the ones he said to you. I remembered them. Crying again, she continued, but I was so confused. All those people were there, and I didn't want to let my family down. But I knew. I knew I was making a mistake, and it was clear when he wouldn't even go to see his daughter. I practically begged him to go, but he refused. He claimed she wasn't his, and he blamed your cheating for the divorce. I knew that wasn't true. Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of the exciting stories we have coming up. What do you think about the characters in this story? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. I knew your baby belonged to him. He never paid any child support, did he? No, it was supposed to be part of the divorce deal, but he didn't follow through. I didn't really want him to be involved, though. He gave up his rights to her. He claimed she wasn't his anyway. I think he should still be paying. It has been a bit hard, but I live with my mom, and she's been a big help. But I really miss our little house and all the plants I had, especially my roses. Laughing, oh, come on, Ava. You can't tell me you didn't take all the plants you liked best, divided your perennials, and took every seed and cutting. Joining in her laughter, you're right. My car was full. I even had to make an extra trip. I wanted to take a couple of small trees, too, but the realtor said I shouldn't because they were part of the property. They chuckled together. I knew it. I didn't have that trouble. We had an apartment, and Kyle left after our separation, so I avoided that. He's out west somewhere. California, I think. Grief showed on her face. Every time he was close, I could only see the look on your face from that night you caught us and at the wedding. Oh, Ava, I am so sorry. Those moments haunt me. They still do. It's over. Done. Anyway, I wasn't much of a wife, and he was even worse as a husband. I tried for a year, but I couldn't handle it anymore. I moved in with my parents for a bit and then back to the apartment. I never really found out for sure, but it seemed he was interested in someone else while we were married. Sighing, I just can't believe we both ended up with such losers. I'm really sorry, Emily. Why don't we just add Kyle to the long list of mistakes we've made together? Another secret we share, another regret. They laughed again, and Emily reached out to touch Ava's hand. Wow, between high school and college, we have quite a list, don't we? If only people knew. All right, then. Over. Done. So how's your little girl? What's her name? Rose. She's wonderful. She's with my mom. Mom really wants to see you. I miss her a lot, too. My other mom. Ava, I just hate that you delivered the baby without me. I thought about you all through my wedding night. I guess it wasn't a surprise that it didn't work out, right? They both chuckled. Ava hesitated, then said, I wasn't alone, Em. Your mom was there for most of it, and after her drive, my mom came too. That's where she went. Dad said she wasn't feeling well and went to rest. I thought it was just the stress from the wedding. I never told her, Ava. I never told anyone. No one at the wedding even had a clue, until someone stood up in the back of the room and shared the truth with everyone. It definitely brought down everyone's excitement. If Mom was with you, that explains why she looked so tired when we left for the honeymoon. She never mentioned anything. Looking down for a moment, then back into Emily's eyes. After I gave birth, she bought so many things for Rose. I guess she and Mom made a list of what I still needed. She got everything on that list. She wouldn't let me pay her back. And Emily? She's been visiting every month and stays overnight. We used to have so much fun. She's been like Rose's other grandma, but she never talked about you or Kyle, and I never asked. I should have. I wish I had asked about you. New tears slid down her cheeks. So that's where she's been going. She always mentions visiting an old friend. I guess that's true. Dad was okay with her going, so I never questioned it. Oh, Ava, I've missed you so much. But I feel ashamed that I was too scared to talk to you. But not anymore. It seems like we're finished here. Why don't we go to Mom's house and check on Dad? We have so much to catch up on. And then I want to meet Rose. Is she in Southern Pines, or did she come with you? 3 months later, Emily called Ava. Ava, my dad is selling our house. He says it holds too many memories and he is moving to Fort Myers. I know, it's way too hot, right? But he wants to be with his sister and brother and is getting a condo in a retirement community. Yup. I told him he was too young for that, but he said there are many people there looking for friends. Can you believe he said that? Just trying to get a reaction from me, but it might be what he needs. He still misses her a lot. So I'm going to help him move and, well, I got a job managing the sports store in Southern Pines, and I want to move there too, if that's okay with you. Don't be silly, Emily. I would love for you to live here. In fact, you should stay with us until you're settled in. I am so excited about this, and Rose will love having Auntie Emily close by. You've really connected with her. This is wonderful. So what's the plan? How can we help? Bart. Picking up his cell phone from the kitchen counter where he was getting dinner ready for the girls, he said, "Hey, honorable thanks for calling. I was just about to reach out to you. How's the trip with the girls? I thought you were coming home today. Did I miss something?" "No, you didn't miss anything. You got it just right. But I'm not with the girls and I'm not coming home." He paused, trying to understand. "I don't get it." "No, you wouldn't. Let me explain. I'm not with the girls, I'm with Chase. I'm not in Atlanta, I'm on Grand Cayman Island. 7 Mile Beach to be exact, and I'm not coming home ever. You will receive divorce papers on Monday. Chase Rollins, from work. Yes, Chase Rollins from work. So, you're... Wow, Bart, I can't believe I've been with you for 7 years. Yes, I am seeing Chase Rollins, and I'm leaving you. Look, if this is just a wild idea, we could try marriage counseling. This is why I'm doing this over the phone. Chase, can you get me another drink? Thanks. Bart, Chase and I have been together for a year. You were so trusting that I didn't even need to hide it. It was right in front of you. But none of that matters now. But why? I thought we were happy. I don't get it. It doesn't matter why, Bart. We married too young. We grew apart. It just happened. How many reasons do you need? Those sound like excuses, Tiff. What's the real reason? I was hoping to keep this simple. Are you sure you want to hear it? Yes, please. She took a breath. Because I want more out of life. I want fun, adventure, and traveling. I don't want to just go to the beach with the kids and do the same things every time. I want to explore places like Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Paris, and Rome. That won't happen on your salary. And you know how upset you'd be if I spent money on fun things. You would always worry about the college fund. I want someone who enjoys life like I do, and honestly, if I could watch us from the outside, I would wish for something more interesting. I need excitement. Okay, but you can't just be so harsh on him. No, I won't back down. He should have accepted this, but he wanted to know why, so he's getting the truth. She paused to take a breath and finish her drink. So anyway, that's what Chase brings into my life. He makes me feel alive doing things I want to experience. You probably wouldn't even want to try. You never said anything, not a single complaint. I thought we were happy. And that's part of the issue, Bart. But I can change. No, you can't. It's just who you are. You'll always be the dependable, nice guy who never gets angry. It's boring. And look at yourself. You're tall, but you don't take care of your health. He felt upset, but then laughed. You're calling me out when you've never been in great shape, Tiff, and I never said a word. Wait after having a baby? Nonsense. I married you when you already had extra weight, even without a baby. You lost weight last year for the first time since I met you, and now you're acting like a model. And just to remind you, Tiff, almost everyone who loses weight puts it back on. Was Chase interested in you 2 years ago? Will he still care about you in a year when your weight changes again? He paused, feeling bad for losing his temper and hurting her. There was silence on her side. She didn't know how to reply. He had never talked about her weight, not even when she gained a lot after Mackenzie. What about the kids? Our kids? What about our home? What about everything we built together, Tiff? The silence continued. She had never heard him angry before, never heard him use harsh words. It shocked her, especially because it was aimed at her. She also realized he had never insulted anyone before. Taking a breath, she said, Bart, what's done is done. You can have the kids. I never really wanted to be a mom anyway. The house, everything belongs to you now. My sister will come tomorrow to get my clothes and jewelry and return my rings. I never liked those anyway, nothing personal. No one could take that lightly. This is all about us, Tiff. Ignoring him, she continued, Oh, and she'll take my car. I'm leaving the last 7 years behind and going to enjoy life from now on. Goodbye, Bart. The line went silent. He stood at the counter, frozen, staring blankly. What just happened? In one phone call, everything he thought was solid was gone. His partner, the one he trusted, had she been unfaithful for a whole year? A whole year and he never knew? She was right. He had been so trusting that he never questioned her evening meetings or work trips. He never looked at her phone or checked her bank statements. But why would he? He loved her and believed in her. She hugged him often and said she loved him. They were close a few times a week, enjoying each other's company. Then self-doubt flooded him, and he felt like a failure. All the feelings he had before he met her came rushing back. One of the hardest things in his life had been to ask her out. She was so beautiful and kind. He was drawn to her but feared rejection. Thankfully, she said yes. He was beginning to feel overwhelmed when a small voice called out, "Daddy, when is dinner going to be ready? Chris and I are hungry." Reality hit him. He had a 4- and 5-year-old to care for. Life would keep moving forward. "Sorry, Holly. It's taking longer than I thought. Why don't we forget this and go get a pizza instead?" "Mac, put on your coat. We're going for pizza." No time to feel bad. He grabbed the phone and ordered their usual pizza, half pepperoni and half cheese, plus breadsticks. They really enjoyed those. Same place, same pizza, same size. Maybe Tiff was right. Maybe change was needed. Or he could just feel sorry for himself tonight. That could be amusing. He chuckled and picked up his keys. He could worry about sadness and disappointment later, after the girls were asleep. But he had to figure out how to deal with everything. As a single dad, his income had dropped to 1, and he didn't think he would receive child support. What would he tell the girls? His parents? Oh no. And the Frog Prince lived happily ever after. He closed the book. "One more, Daddy, please?" "Nope. It's past bedtime now. You two need to get into bed and sleep. Aunt Molly is coming in the morning and may need our help." He felt a lump in his throat and wiped away a few tears. "What's wrong, Daddy?" "Nothing. I just love that story. And I love you both. Now give me a kiss, and no biting, no shark kisses." He hugged each girl as he tucked them into their beds in their shared room. He realized he would need to arrange separate bedrooms soon. Maybe he could clear out the office and move all that stuff into their new room. "Daddy, when is Mommy coming home?" He froze for a moment. The situation hit him hard. It was hard to think and speak, but he forced himself to stay calm. "Mommy has to be away for a little while. She has some things to do." He wanted to express his true feelings, but he knew that wasn't right. He couldn't explain that she hadn't come home because she was away doing other things. He couldn't say that she didn't care about them. He thought about blaming work, but he didn't want the girls to dislike it. He didn't know if he liked his job. It felt like a dead-end position in a cubicle. Plenty to think about, but he needed a simple answer for now. "I miss her, Daddy." "Me too. Now go to sleep. Pancakes in the morning?" He lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, wishing he could drink away his worries and make everything blurry. But he knew he would never do that. The girls needed him, just too responsible and dependable. He felt trapped in doubt and sadness. He thought back to everything she had said in their entire relationship. He realized he had 3 choices. As he had already thought, he could start drinking to forget the memories, but he knew from many songs that it usually made things worse. None of them ever seemed to drink their problems away, and most wanted to pick up the phone and call their exes. He smiled to himself, and memories of her felt like a tricky game that could easily pull him back in. He was sure that if he called her, she would respond, but he knew he had responsibilities. After all, he was seen as the dependable one. He could sit in his sadness and hope that time would help, but he didn't want to give her any more control over his life. And then there were the kids. They would need him once they realized their mom wasn't coming back. It wouldn't help them if he wandered around looking lost and sad. How would he explain to them where their mom was? Maybe he could find some answers online. So there was another option. "I'm done with you." Even saying it out loud sparked a new kind of anger in him. Anger towards himself and anger at Tiffany. The feelings grew and he could feel a fire building in his heart, burning away all the good memories and everything he thought he knew. As the anger rose, he let go of every memory of her. First dates, happy moments, dreams for the future. One by one, he tossed these thoughts away. Tears, frustration, and heartache all went with them. He had been going through life feeling fine, but what she said hurt and made him angry at himself, too. The feelings roared inside him for hours as he stared at the ceiling. 7 years of memories and dreams vanished into the background noise. He knew every mark on that ceiling, and he felt the weight of it all as he clutched the sheets tightly, almost tearing them as his thoughts swirled. One feeling after another, he let them go. But slowly, the anger cooled as new thoughts started to take shape. The fire inside him began to fade to smoke. His love for Tiffany and all their memories turned to quiet ashes. He poured water on those ashes, washing them away for good. By morning, he felt drained. There were no more traces of his old life, just a clean start, ready for a new chapter, new resolutions, no need to wait until the new year. He felt lighter and more at peace, but he promised himself, never again. He would be more aware and less trusting. His heart would belong only to his girls from now on. He got up, took a shower, dressed, started laundry, tidied up a bit, and made pancakes. Then he went in to wake the girls. "Wake up, sleepyheads. We have a lot to do today. The pancakes are nearly ready, and Aunt Monica will be here soon. We need to help her, then we're going to the store for some things, and after that we'll head to the park. Does that sound fun? Now hurry up and brush your teeth properly. You don't want any cavities, do you?" At 8:45, Monica walked up the single brick step and approached the front door. She wondered what could be happening. Was there a divorce? Had Bart done something wrong? It didn't seem like him to cheat. Maybe she could find out what was going on. Tiffany had called the night before, upset and talking fast about how Bart was acting and that they were getting divorced. She had asked Monica to pick up her things, which felt so strange. Tiffany had been acting differently for the past few months, and not in a good way. Monica had tried to call Tiffany back and sent texts, but there was no reply. She even called her mom, but she didn't know anything either. Monica felt sad about it. Bart and Tiffany always seemed so happy together, but Tiffany had changed over the last year. As Tiffany lost weight, she dyed her brown hair blonde, which looked nice. Then she started using more makeup and wearing tighter clothes. There were many late meetings and overnight stays, which now seemed like warning signs. Why hadn't Monica noticed this before? They appeared so happy together, which made her think. The last thing she wanted to do was knock on the door. If Bart was upset or drinking, what could she possibly say? But she took a deep breath, stood up straight, and knocked. Oh, who could that be at the door? I better check. Aunt Monica. That's right, go let her in. Bart took a deep breath. It was time to face things. They opened the door together. "Hey girls, you smell like pancakes. And is that syrup on your face, Mackenzie? Let me help you clean it up. All done. Now come here and give Aunt Monica a hug." But she glanced at Bart, searching for signs of trouble, and was surprised to find him looking calm. He just looked tired. "All right, girls. Aunt Monica and I need to talk for a bit. Why don't you go play in your room?" Turning to Monica, he said, "Why do you look so surprised? You must have expected this." "No. Mom and I didn't know anything until Tiffany called me last night and asked me to come over and get her stuff. That was the first time she mentioned any problems. Oh, and she gave me these." She held out an envelope with rings inside. Bart looked at the envelope for a moment and then tossed it in the trash. Monica couldn't believe how cold he seemed. She never liked those styles anyway. What? She didn't mention it to anyone at first. As soon as she got the news, she showed Mom and me. She was really happy and proud. "Bart, are you okay? You seem, I don't know, too calm or something," Monica asked. "It's strange, I know. My whole life feels like it's crumbling without warning. You're right. I should be falling apart, but I've managed to sort it out with myself. I've come to terms with it." Monica looked at him in surprise. He wasn't acting how she thought he would. He wasn't reacting like she had when her husband left 2 years ago. "So how are you doing, Monica?" he asked. "I'm in shock. What on earth happened, Bart? She never said a word to Mom or me." "I really don't know. I was just going about my life, content and unaware that anything was wrong. Then she called last night from the Virgin Islands, and while asking Chase for another drink, she told me that I was out of shape, too dependable, boring, and not good in bed." Monica gasped. "No, really? Yes, she said she couldn't believe she wasted 7 years on me and that you'd be here this morning to pick up her things. She also said I'd get divorce papers on Monday. Oh, and she's been seeing Chase for a year. No way. So she isn't coming back? Nope. Mommy's not coming back. Both girls started crying and ran to their rooms. Bart shook his head sadly. Not what I wanted them to know. Honestly, I didn't have a plan. I guess it's time to talk to the girls, he whispered, knowing their mother had never wanted that conversation. Monica put her hand to her mouth in shock. What had happened to her sister? What? How could she do this? I need to go. If I can calm them down, I'll help you. Do you have boxes? She nodded. He headed to the bedroom, dreading the conversation, hoping to find the right words. The girls were crying hard. Daddy? Where's Mommy? Why isn't she here? When is she coming home? I don't understand. That's a lot of questions. Come here and hug me while we talk. I don't know when she'll be back, girls. Sometimes adults go through tough times and want change. Your mom is facing a challenge. I'm not sure if she'll come home or not. Probably not. Doesn't she love us? Did we do something wrong? If we did, we'll fix it. We promise we'll be really good. Girls, your mom loves you very much. This is not about you. It's something between your mommy and me. You both are perfect. Please don't ever think you've done anything wrong. You both bring so much joy to my life. The happiest days were when I saw you little angels being born. Now, just like Mommy, we are going to face a few challenges. There will be many changes ahead, but they will be good changes. I promise you will like them. He thought to himself, feeling hopeful. I love you both more than anything in the world, and I will never leave you. I promise. Let's make a pinky swear. He offered his pinky, and they hooked them together. This might be tough for all of us, but if we stick together, we will make it through. Now give me another hug. Wait, I need one more. He held them close, wanting them to feel safe. I'll figure out how to get you both to kindergarten and preschool and pick you up. It will all work out. Just wait and see. He reassured himself. Other single parents manage it, right? Many kids come from single-parent homes. I'm sure she will call and send you things to show she cares while she is away. Deep down, he doubted she would, and felt tears welling up. He felt sad because the girls would miss their mom and worried that he had been lying about her. We will all feel sad, but we will miss her together. Come on, let's dry those tears and go help Aunt Monica. How about that? The girls got up and walked into the bedroom where Monica was busy taking clothes out of the closet. Keep the hangers, Monica. Are the boxes outside? He asked. She nodded. I'll get them, and maybe the girls can help a bit too. Sure, that would be great. Did you drive here, Monica, or did someone drop you off? My mom dropped me off so I could get the car. She was too upset to come in. We can pack this in her car. I'll figure out where to put it at my place, but it's just me, ever since Bryce left a couple of years ago. She sighed. What were we doing wrong, Bart? I didn't understand my situation, and I don't understand yours either. A phone call? That's how she chose to do it? We can talk about it later if you want, but not now. He glanced at the girls who were carefully placing clothes in boxes. They were always listening. Monica nodded. Maybe after the kids go to bed. They packed Tiffany's car with clothes and jewelry, nothing more. Please, Bart, I know this is hard for you, and you were such a big help when Bryce left. Let me support you. If you need anything at all, just call me. We can talk and I can come over to help with the kids. She began to cry. Bart, I just don't understand how these things happen. He sighed. One more person to comfort and support. Come here, Monica. She hugged him tightly and cried. We'll both get through this and find happiness. We just need to focus on today. Think about a future that makes us smile and remember only the good times from the past. But it's been 2 years, she said with a shaky voice. 2 years? How are you taking this so well? I thought you cared for my sister. I do, or at least I did. I figured it all out last night. It's over, gone. She will only be mentioned for the kids' sake. Everything that reminds me of our life together, the pictures, the furniture, it will all be cleared out as fast as I can, and I will start fresh. What else can I do? Stay stuck in sadness? Let it overwhelm me for years? No thanks. That's not what she would want. I need to move on. The kids and I have to make a new life. A life without Tiffany, just like she has decided to. I'm not saying you are wrong in how you cope, but I need to move on completely. So, how did you do that? I keep falling back into my sadness. He shared what had happened the previous night. Really? Yes, I think all those feelings are gone now, like ashes in the wind. I'm going to give it a try. Start getting rid of everything but my things and then feel better inside. Will you help me? Can we support each other? We could cover for each other with work or appointments. Mom tries to help, but it's not the same. Sure, but let me get settled at home first and then I'll be there for you. Only as friends or family, though. I'm not sure I can handle more than that. A look of disappointment crossed her face. I understand. Ava and Bart. It was a bright, sunny Sunday morning when Rose strolled through the nursery, gently touching the plants and flowers. A tall man, busy arranging some plants beneath a table, turned and stood up in front of her. She froze. Well, hi there, I love your dress. Such a pretty pink dress for a Sunday morning. Did you come from church? She nodded. I'm not little. Bart chuckled. No, you're not. You're what, about 6 years old? Rose just stared at him, feeling shy and looking around. A slightly older girl came up beside him and playfully hit his arm. Stop it, Dad. She's not supposed to talk to you. Looking at Rose, she said, Stranger danger, right? Rose nodded. Well, my dad can be a bit silly, but he's harmless. His name is Bart. You can see it on his shirt. Look! She poked it with her fingers to emphasize her point. Turning to Rose, she said, My name is Hall. E.D. Turning back to her dad, she exclaimed, No, Dad. That ended at sunrise this morning. My time is up. Then she looked at Rose again. Sorry about that. Is your dad as silly as mine? He thinks he's a real jokester. Just my mom and me. And my grandma and Aunt Emily. A house full of girls. That's great. Maybe my sister and I could stay with you for a bit and escape from him. Taking care of him is a lot of work. It's like having a big furry dog in the house. Bart smiled while the two girls laughed. Anyway, I'm Holly. My dad says he named me that because I'm a bit spiky, but my sister is the real spiky one. What's your name? Rose. Nice name. And I love your rose-colored dress, by the way. My dad used to buy my sister and me dresses, and we looked like we were ready for Halloween. More laughter followed. So we stick to pants and shirts. It's safer that way. Where's your mom? Or did you come here by yourself? I can't drive yet. That's her over there. Bart looked 2 rows over and saw a woman that caught his attention. She had blonde hair in a ponytail, a long-sleeved shirt, and jeans. He watched as she gently leaned down, held a rose blossom, and took a whiff. She frowned a little, then looked up, noticed them staring, let go of the rose, and stood up, clearly embarrassed. She met Bart's gaze for a moment before he exclaimed, Dad, it's the flower sniffer, the one I've been telling you about. Rose, your mom comes here every weekend to smell the flowers, doesn't she? Yup, she loves them, but she only wants to pick the ones that smell nice. She picks me up from church, we come here, she looks at everything, and then we go for a hike. Unless it's raining, but sometimes we like the rain. Ava walked up to them, saying, Hi. So this is where my Rose wandered off to. Rose, remember, I asked you not to go too far away from me? Yes, Mom, but I was just here talking to Bart and Holly. Thank you both for keeping her company. I'm Ava, so I guess you've been chatting about me. Bart looked a bit shy. Mom, they called you the flower sniffer. Instead of being upset, Ava laughed. Well, I suppose I am. That last rose didn't smell much, but I love the scent of the Neil Diamond rose. It's not as nice as Mr. Lincoln or Don Juan, but none of mine are blooming yet. Lots of leaves, so they should be ready soon. Bart, your shirt looks very professional. I take it you work here? Actually, Ava, I'm the owner for about 4.5 years now. If you need anything, just let me know. Holly gave her dad a curious look. Thanks, I will. I really like your place, Bart. So, there you are. Is this a private meeting or can anyone join? Ava, this is my other daughter, Mac. Dad, as you know, my time for the timeout is over for that made-up issue you came up with. Hi, I'm Mackenzie, or Mac, and you are Ava and Rose. Looking up at her dad. Dad. That's fine, Mac. Rose will call me Bart, so you can call her Ava instead of Mrs. Logan. Ava Logan, so what's this ED thing? Oh, just one of my dad's silly jokes. It stands for Evil Daughter 1 and 2. I think it's from Star Wars, which he hasn't let us watch yet, by the way. He always says, Ed1 Kenobi, you are my only hope, or something like that, and it's R2ED2, that robot or whatever. Look, Dad, I checked it out. No bad words, and everyone keeps their clothes on. So... Anyway, nice to meet you, Ma'am and Rose. I love your dress. So, Pops, are we ready for our hike? I finished my homework, practiced my words, and started that biology work. I'm not too sure about that biology. Yeah, I guess we are. We're going hiking, too. Really? Asked Mac. Yup, we go every weekend. Holly chimed in, Dad, isn't this where you say something like, switching to a playful voice, Gee Willisers, where are my manners? If we're going on a hike, maybe we could all go together or something. Bart smiled and shook his head gently. Rose stared. Ava burst into laughter again. He loved that sound and watched her. Oh, Bart! She touched his arm. Just think, they're not even teenagers yet. Her laughter continued. Thanks for the invite, Bart. We'd love to join you, but I have to go to Fletcher Mountain if that's okay. I want to check the fields and see the spring wildflowers in the woods. Is that fine with you three? Sure. Do you need to take Rose home to change? Nope. Mom always has clothes for me in the van. Bart followed Ava to the parking lot at Fletcher Mountain. Many cars were already parked there. Bart, I know you probably just follow the trail up the hill, so if you want to head out, go ahead. But Rose and I need to look around the edge of the field and see what we can find. No, it's fine. What are you looking for? Herps. You know, snakes, lizards, turtles, and salamanders under logs and stuff. You girls want to help? They looked at each other. Maybe we'll just watch how it's done this time. That's great. It won't take long. Come on, Rose. Let's walk along the edge and see what we find. A little later, Snake, Mom, a big one. Rose dashed off, chasing it through the grass. I got it, Mom. I got it. Hurry. Good job, Rose. What kind is it? Black racer. Too fast for a king or rat snake, Ava said. Oh, great. Ava got down on her hands and knees to catch it as it slipped away from Rose's shoe. Dang! She lunged forward, caught it, and pulled it out of the grass. After a few bites, she finally held its head steady. Rose, grab the bag! The other three hurried across the field to look. What is it? It's a black racer. It's quick and aggressive. It eats mice, lizards, and more. Look how smooth and shiny it is. Do you want to touch it before I put it in the bag? They hesitated, but then reached out to feel it. Smooth. Cool. But Ava, you're bleeding. No worries. They have small teeth. I don't want it to get hurt, but it seems fine. All right, into the bag. Ready to keep looking? Sure, they replied. Okay, spread out a bit and let's walk along the field until we find the trail. If you see one, call out or gently pin it with your foot. But be careful, don't want to hurt it. They looked unsure. A little while later, Mackenzie shouted, Snake! I think I have it! Running over, Ava said, Good job, let's see. A garter snake. They're much calmer than the other one. And shorter. Let's see. Good. And it didn't bite me. Now touch this one and tell me what you think. It's rougher and not as shiny. Exactly. Look closely. Each scale has a little line down it called a keel. The racer didn't have that. Why are you collecting these? Because I run the herpetology club at the community college and I want to show a few things tomorrow in case we can't come back here. Once the club meets, I'll let these guys go right where I found them. What do you do there, Ava? Looking at Mac, Ava replied, I'm a biology teacher. I teach AP biology at the high school and a couple of courses at the college. Oh, Ava, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Ava laughed and pulled her into a hug. It's fine, sweetie. No big deal. Hear that, Dad? She called me sweetie, not something mean. Bart stopped, looked down, and tears started to form. Both girls hugged him. Dad, it's okay. You're the best dad ever. I was just joking. Sorry. He hugged them back, looked up, and met Ava's eyes. Has it been tough? He asked. She nodded. I can't imagine how you did it. All alone? He nodded again. I have my mom, my best friend, and others, and it's still hard. How long? 5 years? Ava shook her head. You've done an amazing job, Bart, with these 2 silly girls. They all laughed. Now let's keep going. I still need to check on some things in the woods. I also run the Spring Wildflower Club. Have to see what's blooming. Maybe we can learn a few things as we go. What do you think, girls? Bart asked quietly, turning to Ava. Maybe I could help out if you'd like. I would really appreciate that. Actually, I need it. The three girls walked ahead, stopping now and then to look at things, chatting and laughing. Listen to them up there. It sounds like fun. They really seem to be getting along. Yeah, I'm so glad Rose is fitting in. She always wanted another sister or brother. Ava paused. We were planning on having 4 kids, but... So your divorce wasn't too tough? I'm guessing it's a divorce, right? Or did he? Divorce. 5 years like yours. I'd bet mine was harder than yours. Sounds like we've both been through a lot. Anyway, I don't usually ask for help. Well, not like this. I could use some support with the girls. Bart, we just met, so I'm not sure. No, not like that. That's why I rarely open up, he said, smiling. I've pretty much forgotten about that kind of help. I mean, I need help with the girls. It's just me, and you can see how they reacted to you. They're already asking questions. One of the girls in Holly's class started wearing a bra or something, and it won't be long until, well, things start changing a lot. Honestly, if I could, I'd want to slow things down until they're older. Ava laughed. Older? Maybe not that old. How about 21? She laughed again. So you're saying the internet hasn't taught you how to pick out a dress, find a training bra, or get the right supplies for their first period? Which, by the way, might only be a few years off. She chuckled again. Nope, and I've looked. I definitely don't want to think about periods and all that. She laughed at his expression. I'm just embarrassed talking about it, but yes, that's true. When I try to do girl things with them, like pick out clothes, they look at me like I have no idea what I'm doing. And sadly, they're right. They both chuckled. I would love to help out as a friend. You seem like a great guy, Bart, but I'm not sure I'm ready for... No, just friends. I'm not even sure. Every time I think about anything else, I get anxious. I need to focus on the girls. Maybe the 5 of us could hang out, go to a game, spend time together. When they have questions or things come up, maybe I could have a female friend for them to talk to. Does that make any sense? Absolutely, I'd love to do that. And I think Rose would benefit from having a male friend who can play and do the things that dads usually do. I try my best, but it's not the same. We live in an all-girls household, so this will help her too. Great. So have we agreed? Sure. One more thing. She looked at him closely. Can you cook or bake? I mean, I can handle a box of brownies. I just turn on the oven and let the girls do the rest. Puffed up with pride, he said, I cooked a turkey for Thanksgiving this year without ruining it too much. I also had boxed stuffing and mashed potatoes. I bought a pecan pie. She smiled and touched his arm gently. It felt nice and cozy. Sounds like you did a wonderful job. You should be proud of yourself. Sorry. No need to apologize. Yes, I can cook a bit. Maybe we can do it together. Why don't we gather everyone and head back? We could even make something this afternoon, though I don't know your schedule. That would be fantastic. Hey, you girls, get back here. We're heading back. The girls groaned, but started walking back to the parking lot. Wait, stop! Bart reached out and picked up a beetle from Ava's shoulder. Look what I found. A hitchhiker. What is this? A ladybug, Dad, obviously. Ava jumped in. You're right, girls. Do you know the song about ladybugs? It says, Ladybug, ladybug, fly away home. It doesn't sound nice because it implies bad things, but before she flies away, how many spots do you see on her back? They leaned in closer. 5. Correct. So it's a 5-spotted ladybug. Some have 9 or even 12. We have many kinds here. And you know what? Even with the song, ladybugs are a good sign that things will get better. A fresh start. She looked into Bart's eyes. How about that? Plus, it might mean your family is going to grow, so your dad might be getting a bit rounder. The girls laughed, and Mac poked his belly. He's already there! They poked him again. Bart looked a bit shy. Well, he looks great now. I wish I could be in that shape. So, your dad and I were hoping that maybe the 5 of us could start doing some things together? All 3 girls squealed with joy. They seemed thrilled and started chatting excitedly again. Ava didn't mention that ladybugs also stand for love and new beginnings. Oh-ho! She glanced at Bart, searching his face. Maybe? Wonderful! Your dad and I are excited too. Bart, do you have any oatmeal, flour, brown sugar, or chocolate chips at your home? He held up his fingers and counted each one. Nope, 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 and nope. Laughing, she replied, Of course you don't. I guess you only have the kind you slice. And Pops burned those last time. We had to go buy some. Really? You know oatmeal is good for your heart. She gently poked him in the chest and turned to the girls. And we want to keep him around for a while, even if he can be a handful, right? Dad, you need to eat some oatmeal. Sure. Then laughing and giving him a wink, she added, and it's good for keeping things moving if you know what I mean. The girls just stared, not understanding. But he did. No worries there, Ava. Are you going to poke that too? Maybe with a stick. His phone rang. Oh, no! He quickly took it out of his pocket and answered. Yes, what? Really? Okay, I'll be right there. Turning to his girls, he said, Sorry, girls. They delivered everything today instead of tomorrow and messed up the order. I have to go back to work. No baking today. Aw, Dad, he shrugged. How about this, Bart? Let me take the girls home with me and we can make some cookies and have a fun day until you're done, if that's all right with you. Please, Dad, please. Sure, that sounds good if you're okay with it. Let's exchange numbers. I'll probably be a few hours. Will that work? If they misbehave, just put them in a safe place or something. Do you have a basement? The girls rolled their eyes. Ava, he's impossible. Can you do something to get him to behave? Bart and Ava shared a laugh. All right, you three, hop into my old van and buckle up. Goodbye, Bart, the three girls said together, giggling. Don't call me Bart, you troublemakers. Only Rose gets to call me that. See you later. Love you. Wow, you have a lot of plants, Ava. Yes, Mackenzie. Most of the perennials are just starting to come out now. The crocuses and daffodils are done, the peonies are about to bloom, and there are buds on the roses. I want to have something blooming all year long. So, the flower sniffer always has something to enjoy. You girls really liked that, didn't you? Are you going to start calling me TFS now? That made them laugh even more. The first thing we need to do is get all our ingredients out and start the oven. Mackenzie, can you open the oatmeal container and read the instructions? She read the steps aloud. Great. So the first step is to set the oven to 350 degrees. We'll use the lower one so you can see better. Here, Holly, climb on this stool. Press bake, which will set it to 350 degrees, then press start. Perfect. That's usually your dad's job, right? They nodded. Now, Rose, we need 2 cups of oats, Holly, 1 cup of flour, and Mackenzie, 1 cup of brown sugar. Just so you know, there are 2 types of brown sugar, light and dark, and they taste different. If the recipe doesn't say, like the one on the lid, it means light brown sugar. Also, remember to pack it in the cup. We don't do that with anything else. Is it okay if we use chocolate chips instead of raisins? Great. A little while later, the timer went off. The cookies look ready. They only take about 12 minutes to bake. Let's take them out, but we need to wait a bit before we can eat them. They'll be very soft at first. She inhaled the sweet smell of the cookies while the others looked at her and chuckled. Your mom's the cookie sniffer too, TCS. More giggles followed. Oh, look who's here! And who are these 2 lovely guests? Mom, this is Holly and Mackenzie. We met them today at the nursery. Girls, this is my mom, Mrs. Williams. Oh, that sounds too formal. Just call me Gram or Grammy like everyone else does. Nice to meet you, Grammy. My pleasure. A knock sounded at the door. Emily and Rob walked in. Oh, it smells great in here. Turning to Rose, she said, You really shouldn't have made cookies for me. Let me ouch. They're hot. I think I just burned my fingers. Kiss it, hun. Rob kissed her hand and she smiled at him. Thanks, Rob. Feeling better now. So, girls, this is my friend Emily and her friend Rob. This is Holly and that's Mackenzie. Nice to meet you, ma'am and sir. The girls took turns shaking hands. My, how polite. Rose, are these friends from school or did you meet them somewhere? I met them at the garden center while Mom was busy smelling the flowers. They called her the flower sniffer, TFS. The 3 of them laughed. Emily, Rob, and Graham joined in. Well, I'd say they really got it right. And she's the cookie sniffer, TCS. Emily shook her head with a smile. Looks like you have her figured out. Another knock came at the door. I'll get it. Emily opened the door. Oh, and who are you? Bart. Yeah, your shirt says that, but maybe I'm at the wrong house. Does Ava live here? Yes, she's in the kitchen. Right there. I'm Emily. And those 2 must belong to you? Yeah. Emily walked behind him, looked Ava in the eye, fanned herself playfully and pointed to Bart's shoulders, then indicated he wasn't wearing a ring. Ava smiled and rolled her eyes. Bart, this is my mom, Lauren, and Emily's friend, Rob. Looks like I arrived just in time. Why, yes, you did. Just in time to help clean up, right, girls? They all laughed. But first, let's taste some of these cookies you made. Let me get you some milk. They pair perfectly with that. We made extra so everyone can take some home. Well, I need to take the girls back. They still have to cut the grass, change the oil in the truck, and fix the back steps. Dad, he thinks he's funny or something. We're sorry, we've tried to fix him, but we can't. We're about to get professional help. Ava covered her laugh with her hand while Emily laughed loudly. Well, good luck with that, girls, and don't give up just yet. You might still be able to make something of him. We'll give it a try. Thank you, Ava. I had a great time. It was nice to meet all of you. Me too. And Holly looked at Ava with a serious expression. I hope we can do this again soon. We all need a break from... She nodded toward her dad. And Rose, you really should come over to our house. My dad is the one who picks up trash, TGS. Wow, what a crowd. Seriously, Ava, thanks. This has been wonderful. Maybe we can plan something for next weekend if you're free. By then, we'll have some new plants. It was nice to meet you, Lauren, Emily, Rob. Who won the golf match, by the way? Rob pointed at Emily. She always wins. I think she cheats. And it was such a pleasure to meet you, Rose. You are just as lovely as your name. Time to go, girls. Don't forget your cookies. And Ava told us how to hide them so you won't eat them all. He chuckled and looked at Ava as if he wanted to remember her face, silently saying, Thanks. Come on, Ava. Who is that guy? He's really handsome. You are too, Rob. I like you both, but Ava, that guy is really something. He owns the nursery and garden center. Rose met his daughters. While your mom was looking at flowers? She nodded. Then they invited Rose and me to join them on a hike. I needed to collect samples for tomorrow, so I said yes. Oh, so it was just because you were going hiking anyway. Yes, of course. Rose, why don't you take a shower, check for any bugs we don't want, and get into your pajamas? Okay, Mom. If you don't want me to hear anything, I'll go. She started to walk away, then turned around with a big smile. Mommy, he called me a little monster. Oh, honey, She giggled. That was so cool. I can't wait to tell my friends at school tomorrow. Ava watched her go. Who would have thought? Anyway, he's a single dad, and it's been 5 years since he separated from his wife. His daughters are growing up, and they have questions that he doesn't know how to answer. Holly is starting to change, and he's a bit lost about what to do. So we made a deal. I'll help as a kind of female friend for his daughters, and he will call Rose a monster. She laughed and paused for a moment. I guess it's already having an effect on Rose. And does this deal include dinner and any close moments? No, absolutely not. I don't know what happened in his past, but it must have been difficult, so he's not ready for that. I just feel there's something special about him. Ooh, Ava has a crush on the plant guy. It's a perfect match. Ava, it's about time. You need to get out there. Looking down, a bit embarrassed, she sighed, and fix some of the mistakes I made. Rob looked at her curiously, clearly not knowing about their history. Please, you need it. Rose needs it. If it doesn't work out, that's okay, but at least give it a shot. Turning, she added, just like Rob is on a trial basis. If he doesn't treat me well tonight, we'll just have to see what happens. She kissed Rob again. We're leaving. Can I grab some cookies? It's always great to see you, Grandma. She pointed to Ava and added, please help her out, okay? They walked out. So, Ava, what do you think? I'm not sure, Mom. He seems nice. He's smart, funny, and makes me laugh. He seems to be doing well. It feels easy and comfortable. His daughters are wonderful. He has done a great job raising them alone for 5 years, and it seems like his ex isn't in the picture. Maybe it could be something for me? I might be ready, but I don't really know how he feels. It sounds like you should talk and get to know each other more. Take your time. Start as friends, which is usually a good way to go. You'll need to discuss plans for the girls anyway, right? That could be a good start. If he ever needs a babysitter, I'm here after work. It's nice how they consider Rose part of the group. Many kids that age can be unkind to younger ones. I know, right? It surprised me. The 3 of them chatted away like you and your friends do at the salon. I don't know, I guess we'll have to see how it unfolds. I'm going to take a shower, check for ticks, and toss our clothes in the dryer for a bit. She hugged her mom. Thanks for always being there for us. I love you. After her shower, she still thought about Bart. There was something special about him. She felt a spark she hadn't felt in a long time. She hoped he wasn't too troubled. She wasn't sure she was ready to take on someone else's problems. It was time to send a text. Bart, Rose and I had a great day with you and the girls. She loved that you called her a monster. Thank you for including us, and please thank Holly and Mac for being so nice to Rose. Most kids their age wouldn't be so friendly. You should be very proud of them and yourself. You've done an amazing job. Let me know when you'd like to meet to plan for the future. Have a wonderful week. Ava. A few moments later. The girls can't stop talking about it. They had such a fun time with you. Between the snakes and baking cookies, it was quite a day. They were great, by the way, although I was given 2 cookies, and then they all seemed to vanish. Rose is great too, and you should be proud of her. Things are a bit hectic during the week. We close at 6, but I have to get the girls home, have dinner, and do homework, you know how it is. I don't want to complicate things, I just haven't figured out how to make it all work yet. I'm open to suggestions. We didn't talk about your schedule. We could meet for coffee or lunch. I get that. I usually have my mom available and Emily when needed. What do you think about lunch tomorrow? How about noon? I can come to the nursery. Great. See you then. After parking her car, she walked into the building and stopped at the checkout counter. Hi, is Bart Wagner here? I'm supposed to meet him. Are you Ava? She nodded. I'm Heather. Nice to meet you. He's back in the office over there. Thanks, Heather. She made her way to the back and saw Bart sitting at his desk, focused on some papers. She knocked on the door frame. Hey, Bart, is this a good time or do you want me to wait? He jumped up. No, now is perfect. I could use a break from all this paperwork. I wasn't sure how much time you would have, so I stopped by the sandwich shop. I hope that's okay. I got ham and turkey. You can have whichever you prefer. She reached into her bag and showed him both sandwiches. I'll take the ham. Is that okay? Of course. I also brought unsweetened iced tea, but I have sugar if you want it. That's great, thanks. Let's eat here if that works for you. The break room might be crowded. Sounds good. So, Bart, where do we begin? He shrugged. It's a bit unusual. It turns out all 3 girls go to the same school. I assume you take them there in the morning. What do you do in the afternoon? I pick them up and bring them here. They do their homework or whatever until I'm done, and then we go home for dinner. It's not the most exciting for them, but I don't really have a choice. It's amazing how you manage everything. So no help from your ex-wife at all? He shook his head. The girls haven't seen her since she left. I heard she might be in Chicago from her sister, but we don't talk about it. No point. Since I need to pick up Rose anyway, how about I pick up your girls as well and watch them until you're done? I can help them with homework and we can find something fun to do until you get home. I can't ask you to do that. It seems like too much. Bart, your girls are great and fun to be around. I can work on papers or lesson plans. If I need help, my mom can step in. It won't be a problem. It might save you time from waiting in the pickup line and help you get home earlier to spend more time with them and with Rose, too. I appreciate it, but it still feels one-sided. What do you gain from this? I get to enjoy time with your girls, for one. I also heard I might get a discount on plants. Laughing, he replied, You can have that anyway, there must be something else. We can see what comes up, but wait, do you know how to fish or go camping? Yes to both. That's perfect. You can teach Rose to fish and we can go camping. It's a great trade-off. I'm sure there will be times when we can help each other out. Oh, and I think we should treat each other's girls like our own. If one of us disagrees with what the other did, let's talk about it calmly and not in front of the girls, okay? Sounds good. And no axe throwing. What? Then he laughed. Agreed, no axe throwing until they are a bit older. She shook his hand but held it for a moment, looking into his eyes. After a brief pause, she dropped his hand. It felt nice, like it was meant to be. So I'll pick the kids up today. How about I take them to your house? We can switch places later. I'm open to ideas. And we need to talk about that topic that will win me a free dinner. Agreed. But not today, okay? She nodded. All right, girls, change out of your school clothes and into play clothes. You two homework time. Do you need help? Nope. Just a math sheet. I have my spelling words. Great. We want all A's, right? Learning should be fun. You might not feel the same way. Rose, you have a math sheet, right? After your letters, why not draw me a nice picture? I'll be right here working. An hour later, she heard laughter and giggles from the living room. "What's happening, ladies?" "We're finished with our homework." "What's so funny? Are you up to something silly?" "No, Ava, just looking at some pictures." She got up and went into the living room. The three girls were lined up on the couch, pointing at photos and laughing. She leaned in to see what they were looking at. "Who is that? An uncle or something?" All three giggled. "No, that's Fat Daddy." "Fat Daddy? No way, that's not your dad, is it?" "Yup, we always giggle when we see these and he gets so embarrassed." "He's in great shape now. What changed?" There was a brief silence. Mommy left. "Oh, I'm sorry. Are there pictures of your mom?" "Yeah," flipping the page. "Here are some. She was very pretty. You both look a bit like her, but also like your dad. Was she a little heavy too? But then she lost weight and left. Did they fight or anything?" "I don't remember much." "Well, Mac, you were quite young. How about you, Holly?" "All I remember is Aunt Monica visiting one Sunday morning, asking Dad what happened and taking her things. Dad said she just called and said she wasn't coming back. We haven't seen her since." Ava hugged both of them. "Oh, that must have been really hard for you, but are you okay now?" "Yeah, Dad makes things fun. He helps us a lot. If you ever want to talk about anything, I'm here to listen, okay? But where were these pictures taken? It looks is it here in this house?" "Yep. Right after Monica left, we went to the store, got all new things, then came back and cleared out the old stuff. Some truck came and picked it all up. He stayed up all night and changed the colors of all the rooms. We had nowhere to sit except in our rooms until the new furniture arrived. All the pictures of Mom and Dad together and anything that belonged to her but wasn't taken by Monica were gone." "My goodness," I said. "He left our rooms alone. It was like she was never here." "That must have been really hard for both of you." "I guess, but things are better now, especially since we met you and Rose. A lot of the pictures show your dad in a suit and tie. Why did he wear those?" "He always wore them for work and when he came home." "But that changed after your mom left? That's when he got the nursery?" They both nodded. "We are so glad to have met you two. It's kind of rainy out. Who wants to help me bake a cake for your dad and start making dinner? Ava? Yes, Holly. Could you maybe braid our hair like Rose's? Of course. You both have beautiful blonde hair that's nice and long. How about we have a little hair lesson? You still need to take a shower. Do you have shower caps?" They shook their heads. "Well, it might sound silly, but we can use a big baggie to keep your hair dry while we wash up. Then I'll show you how to brush it and make it shiny. And I'll teach you how to braid it. I think I have some barrettes in my purse, and tomorrow we can go shopping for brushes, clips, and shower caps. I'll braid Holly's hair first and Mac can watch. Then we'll switch. You can do your own after you learn, but it's easier to braid someone else's hair. Now let's hurry to the shower so we're finished before your dad gets home. It'll be a surprise for him. If you're careful, you can wear the braids to school tomorrow. So, what do you think? Wait, there's your dad. Just go out there and stand still and see what he says." They ran to the living room and stood still. Bart opened the door. "Hey, girls! How—" He stopped and stared, his eyes filling with tears. He got down on his knees. The girls looked at each other and then ran to him. "Daddy, what's wrong? We can take out the braids if you don't like them. We're sorry." "No, don't say that. You two are the prettiest girls in the world and I love you very much, that's all." He hugged them and then saw Rose watching. "And you're one of the prettiest girls too, Rose, just like your mom. So that makes 4 pretty girls." He glanced at Ava, shook his head sadly, and whispered, "Thank you." "Bart, thank you for letting us all celebrate Thanksgiving together. The parade and the dog show were so much fun. And the turkey smells amazing. I'm just glad you could all be here. And do all the cooking, right, Dad? I cooked a turkey before. Just turkey breast, and we think it was just lucky. All right, girls, why don't you go back to Holly's and come out when you're ready to show your dad?" The three of them ran back and slammed the door. "Show me what?" "Patience, my friend. They'll be out in a few moments." A little later, Holly and Mackenzie returned to the living room, standing proudly in front of their father, who was seated in his chair. Bart's eyes widened in surprise. "What are you two wearing?" He looked at Ava and said, "What's going on? They're too young for this." Disappointment and embarrassment washed over their faces, and they quickly ran back to the bedroom. "Bart, what are you doing? No, what's happening? Everyone turned to look at Bart. Ava's anger grew. Bart, let's talk about this in your room or outside unless you want to have this conversation here. He stomped into his bedroom. Ava sighed. Emily asked, What just happened? The girls look so proud. Growing pains. Mom, Emily, could you check the turkey and handle the rest? Rob, could you help out wherever you can? I need to see what I can fix. She walked back to the bedroom and shut the door. Bart was waiting for her. What is going on, Ava? Bras? Do you want them to look like those kids on TV? We should have talked about this. This feels wrong. Are you finished? He nodded. You haven't noticed that the girls have been wearing sleeveless shirts under their tops for months? I thought it was a fashion choice. No, it was because Holly was getting teased at school. Now she's grown out of those shirts and needs better support. Bart, she's uncomfortable when she runs or jumps. When you hug her, haven't you noticed how she winces? It's because it hurts sometimes. I noticed, but I thought she didn't like hugs. No, she loves them. It just bothers her a little. Bart, they were excited to show you they are growing up. They're too young for that. They're not too young. Mackenzie may not have changed much, but she wants to do everything Holly does. So I had to do both of them. It was hard to talk Rose out of it. You should have discussed it with me. Maybe. I thought we had an agreement. I would care for the children like my own, and you would treat Rose as your child. You mentioned this is the kind of support you needed. Bart, how will you handle it when Holly starts growing up soon? Should we talk about what supplies she might need? That's too far away. Why are you bringing that up now? Come on, Bart. A lot of kids start at that age. Over half of 12-year-olds have begun, and Holly is 11. Once she starts showing signs, those changes will come whether you like it or not. I'm sorry if this bothers you, but what else should we be talking about? Should we discuss first bras or something else? Are you going to have these important discussions with them? Will you guide them? I'm not sure. I understand. It feels like they are growing up too fast, and you wish it would slow down so they could stay little. Exactly. Well, that's not going to happen. I mentioned those options for when they get older. Laughing. Yes, you did. But right now you have two young girls who are feeling embarrassed. They were excited to show you. You should go talk to them. Tell them they look great, but you're finding it hard to adjust as they are becoming young women. If you don't want to, I can do it. But instead of feeling proud, they might feel a little shy. They already deal with peer pressure. They need their dad to be proud and supportive of these changes. If you need a way to start, you could say something nice about their outfits. They will give you those looks only little girls can give. Then you can joke, you know those shirts were just for fun, and now they are in something new, and soon they'll need something different. They might tease you about your jokes, but it will be okay. Why do you always have such smart ideas? Would you come with me? Of course, Bart, but you need to do the talking. The meal was great, Bart. Emily, Ava, the desserts were lovely. You're welcome, Lauren. I just spent a lot of time trying to make up for not being the best cook. You women and young ladies did most of the work. Luckily, my cooking skills only go so far. I can make hamburgers, pancakes, grilled cheese, and macaroni and cheese. That's how Daddy got my name, Mackenzie. Mac and cheese! Everyone laughed. Ava looked at Bart, who was blushing. You didn't... I really do love macaroni and cheese. He hugged his daughter and gave Ava a look to change the subject. All right, Mom. Why don't you take Rob and Emily into the living room? The ladies can clear the table while I rinse things off and load the dishwasher. Bart, you supervise and share your tips like you did for the meal, she said with a smile and a wink. As Ava reached for a serving dish, she bumped into Bart, who was holding a large bowl of gravy. The bowl tipped, spilling the warm gravy all over her shirt and down into her pants. Everyone froze except for Bart, who quickly grabbed a kitchen towel and began to dab the gravy off her. She looked at him, surprised, and then smiled. He noticed his actions and suddenly stopped, his face bright red. From the living room, Emily teased, Maybe you two should find a private place. Bart blushed deeper. Ava, Ava laughed but kept a serious look. It's fine, Bart. Can you get me a shirt and something to clean up with? He nodded. She added softly, And we really need to talk. She felt where the towel had touched her, and her emotions started to rise. She made her way to the bathroom with Bart following her. She turned and touched his arm, smiling. Do you want to come in with me? He paused, looking uneasy. Ava, It's all right. I'll be out in a minute. She closed the door and looked down, realizing the mess was worse than she thought. Bart, can you get me some sweatpants too? Sure. I'm really sorry, Ava. It's okay. She grabbed a towel and washcloth, feeling at home but also lost in her thoughts. Something was changing inside her, and she felt a rush of emotions. He knocked gently on the door. She opened it a little, and he handed her a shirt, sweatshirt, and sweatpants. Thanks. I'll be right out. She took a breath, unsure about what Bart might be feeling. She pushed away her worries. She needed to have this conversation. She stepped out, aware of her vulnerability but feeling a mix of emotions. She took Bart's arm and gently guided him to sit down so she could look him in the eye. Bart, we really need to talk. What you did earlier. I'm sorry, Ava. I didn't mean to. Ava raised her hand, stopping him. Let's talk. Think about it, Bart. What you did out there wasn't how a friend acts. It wasn't how a partner would act. It was how a spouse would act. We are like an old married couple, a family of 5 that mostly sleeps a few miles apart. We even stayed in the same condo this summer, like a family. You searched me without thinking. That shows how close we are. So many times when you're leaving my house, I almost catch myself kissing you goodbye and saying, have a nice day. But it's like we skipped all the excitement and passion. I know you feel it too. There is something special between us. I see it in your eyes and feel it when you touch me. I want more than just being together without that spark. I want all of it, including the excitement and closeness that comes with love, not just the everyday routine. She sat next to him and kissed him. At first it was gentle, but then turned more passionate. She hugged him tightly and touched her lips to his. He held her close, but then suddenly pulled back. I can't. I just can't. I can't risk going through this again. I have the girls. I feel like I've lost my ability to let anyone else in. What happened to you, Bart? Trust me. I would never hurt you or the girls. I won't just leave. I could never do that. Even if things don't work out, I wouldn't do that. We've been together for almost 9 months now, Bart. You know how I feel about the girls. I care for them like a mother, and I know Rose sees you as her dad. Let's try and see how it goes. Even if it doesn't work out, if we're honest with each other, it should be okay, right? He stood up and put space between them. Sadly, he said, I can't. I just can't. I'm sorry. She stood and felt tears streaming down her face. She nodded. I understand, but if that's how it is, I can't keep this up either. I can't be close yet so far away. It's too hard. Goodbye, Bart. It's been nice. Just remember, as long as you're breathing, it's never too late to start over or find happiness. It's been 5 years. I'm sorry it ended like this, but thank you for the time we shared. She walked out the door and closed it behind her, wiping her tears with her sweatshirt, but more came. She went to the living room. Mom, grab our coats. We're going home. But, no, Mom. Please just do it. Leave the dishes and everything. Rose, please gather your things. Turning to Holly and Mackenzie, she continued, Girls, it looks like I won't be seeing you as much. I want you to know that I love you both so much, and I will always be here if you need me. I will not leave you, ever. Do you understand? So call or send a message on those new phones you got. Here, give me a hug. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. This is not what I wished for. You both made your dad very proud today. You're growing up so fast. But why? I wish I could explain it, but I don't really know either. Sorry. Let's have another hug. Oh, that felt good. More tears were coming. Emily, Rob, I'm sorry to spoil Thanksgiving. Looking at Emily. And no, I don't want to talk about it. Come on, Mom, Rose. They were quiet on the way home. All right, Rose, it's time for a shower and pajamas. Then you can read me a story from that book. Rose started crying and ran to her room. Lauren said, Rose, go take your shower. I need to talk to your mom. But what's wrong? What happened? I don't know, but it seems like adult stuff. She'll be all right, and tomorrow the weather should be nice. You two can do something fun. We have a long weekend after all. No school for either of you. Lauren went into the bedroom and hugged Rose. While holding her, she said, Let me guess. He said he couldn't commit more. So you ended things. Ava pulled away and looked at her mother. Mom, how did you know? Oh, come on, give me some credit as a mother. You love him and he loves you. It's been clear almost from day one. I've been waiting for either you two to spend all your time together or for someone to struggle. I thought it would be him, not you. I could see you opening up while he seemed stuck. Mom, it feels like we are like a married couple with all the family parts, but none of the love and closeness. I don't know what to do, but I can't stay in this in-between place. That big mess today made everything clear for me. Her mom laughed softly. The messy situation? Yeah, I know it sounds silly, but he just grabbed a towel and started to clean up like we were already a couple. It made me realize I want more, but he said he couldn't, not after what happened with his wife. So I guess I picked the wrong path, or however you say it. I will miss those girls so much. They are the sweetest, and I love them dearly. But I have wonderful friends, a great job, and the best mom in the world. She hugged her mom and kissed her cheek. They say when one door closes, another opens. But I never thought I'd be shoved out the door into the yard in my sweats, at least not without some warning. You need to talk to him again. What happened with him and his wife? Nope. It's his turn to decide. I have no idea. He never wanted to talk about it. But at least he helped me feel love again, right? Made me see that I want more. So there's that. Then why do you look so sad? Ava broke down, holding her mom tightly and crying harder. Because it just hurts so much. I feel so empty. Again. There's so much missing. Holly and Mackenzie went back to the bedroom and faced their dad. What did you do, Dad? You made Ava cry a lot, and now she says we won't see her much. He sat on the bed with his head down. Just adult stuff. She didn't understand. You wouldn't understand. No one could understand. But Dad, we love Ava. She's like our mom or something. He looked up at both of them. She talks to us, teaches us, and gets us. Don't I do all those things? Kind of. But it's different. She's a girl. Holly's right. Ava knows things. You smile a lot when she's around. It makes us sad to see you unhappy. He reached out and hugged them, being gentle with Holly. It'll all be okay. The three of us will be fine, you'll see. And you two look great in your new clothes. 3 weeks later, Holly sent another text. They had stayed in touch with messages and video calls, but this one felt urgent. Ava, Mackenzie and I need to see you. It feels like forever, and we miss you, Rose and Graham. We need to talk to you, in person. It's important. Okay, we all miss you too. Tomorrow is Friday. Why don't you ask your dad if I can pick you up after school? We could have a girls' sleepover to catch up. We can do something fun Saturday morning, and I'll bring you home Saturday afternoon. I'll text you back after we ask. He is outside somewhere. A few minutes later, he said it's fine. Great. I'm excited. Bring play clothes, pajamas, and other things, and I'll see you tomorrow. Rose, where are you? Guess what we're doing tomorrow? Ava parked her van in the side lot and walked over to the pickup area. She grabbed Rose as she came out, and then saw Holly and Mackenzie come out with their friends. It made Ava happy to see them with friends. They spotted her and ran over with their backpacks and sleepover bags. Ava knelt down and wrapped them both in a hug. Oh, girls, I have missed you so much. It's been way too long. Tears started to form. We missed you too, but why are you crying? Wiping her eyes, she said, happy tears. But deep down, Ava knew that wasn't true. They were tears of regret and loss. You look like Dad. What? Yup, he's sad all the time, just mopes around. He hasn't even told one of his silly dad jokes since Thanksgiving. Really? They nodded. Here's my plan. I thought we could go ice skating for a few hours, then grab pizza and milkshakes. After that, we can hang out, watch a movie, or even bake some treats. There's no bedtime tonight, she whispered. But don't tell your dad. They giggled. They never got to the baking. Ava and the girls talked about all sorts of fun things. She tried some new hairstyles on the girls, painted their toenails, and then had a serious talk about deodorants and the changes that were coming in the next few years. She listened to the three girls chat away until midnight, and then it got quiet. She quietly went in to make sure each one was covered and tucked in, giving them a gentle kiss on the forehead. On Saturday morning, she had the girls help her make snowman-shaped pancakes. They topped them with whipped cream and mini M&Ms for eyes, a mouth, and buttons. After breakfast, they went to the trampoline park. After a couple of hours, the girls looked tired, so Ava took them back to her place to gather their things. Emily was there and greeted them. Ah, it's the dynamic duo visiting us. It's been a while. How are you? Good, they replied. How's your dad? He's feeling down lately. He hardly smiles. We wanted to make cookies, but I guess we ran out of time. Is he really down? Moping around like Ava here? She asked, pointing at Ava. They nodded. Ava, she said, grabbing her arm. Come with me. She pulled Ava into the bedroom and closed the door. What's going on, Ava? You're acting like you've lost your way and he's feeling down too. You need to take action. Don't just let it happen. You care about him and he cares about you. Don't let him sulk like this. But he said, forget what he said. He needs to snap out of it and you can help him. This can't keep happening. You both need to figure this out. It's like that saying. What saying? You know, the part about green pastures and all that, it didn't quite work for me, but you know the message of not giving up. Laughing softly, Ava replied, I don't remember that part exactly, but it does remind me of what my mom used to say. When one door closes, another will open. I hope another door will open for me. That's not how it works. It took forever to open this door. Are you really willing to wait that long for the next one? By then you'll be older and settling for something you don't really want. Thanks for the encouragement. If a door closes, you can wait, or you can just open the same door again. That's how doors work. Go for it, Ava. Get through to him. Don't give up so quickly. You need to make him understand. If you don't, you might lose him and those wonderful girls out there. I don't know. I keep thinking about Bart. It's frustrating. Sounds like you're figuring out what you want to do. I still don't know, Emily. Oh, come on, don't doubt yourself. Stand up and be brave, just like you were at my wedding and my friend's funeral. Ava looked surprised for a moment. Oh, But before she could say more, Emily hugged her tightly. Stop! I love you, Ava. When you are happy, I feel happy too. When you are sad, it makes me sad, and you know how much I dislike being sad. Let's make some cookies for Sad Dad. But you need to think about what I said. Really think about it. You can make this happen. Open that door again. Be strong, not worried. Do you have any more sayings for me? Of course. Strike while the iron is hot. If you wait too long, you miss out. A little effort now saves a lot later. Just do it or step aside. She looked at Ava seriously. Just do it. That doesn't quite sound right either, Ava replied, smiling. Emily hugged her once more, whispering in her ear, Just do it. It will bring joy to both of you, please. She drove the girls home and made sure they had everything, giving them hugs as they said goodbye. She watched them go up the steps and knock on the door. Bart opened it and stepped outside, bending down to hug each girl. She noticed he was bending less each month as the girls grew taller. Then he made eye contact with Ava. Ava waved nervously, tears beginning to form. She started to shake and turned back towards the van. She paused, letting out a scream of anger and frustration, then calmed herself. No! I won't let this happen! 4 faces watched her closely. In a calm voice, she said, Rose, get out of the car now. Please run up the steps, find the girls, and go into one of their rooms. Shut the door. I need to talk to Bart. Mommy? It's okay, Rose. Just do this for me. Rose ran inside to find the other 2. Quick! We need to go to your room and close the door. They didn't argue. They were worried about what might happen. Ava took long, steady steps toward Bart. Don't you say anything or I'll be really upset. Come with me. She led him into his bedroom, closed the door, pushed him onto the bed, and said, No one has the right to break my heart like you have. No one can just push me away when they know how much I care for them. After 9 months of being so close, no one can do that to me. It's not happening. No, don't say a word. I won't accept it. She mimicked him in a mocking voice. I'm just not ready. I don't care if you're ready or not. I am, and I'm taking charge of this relationship. I love you, and I love those 2 girls who I hope are not listening as much as my own. You pushed me out of their lives too, and that won't stand. Looking frustrated, she continued, Bart, for the love of everything, stop thinking about what could go wrong and get excited about what could go right. Rose needs you. I need you. Your girls need me, and you know deep down that you need me too. I can see it in the way you look at me. Touch me. But, taking a breath, she said, Stop. Before you say anything else, I need you to tell me what happened to you and why you're not ready. Now. Tell me now. He raised his hands as if to calm her. All right, okay. Her name was Tiffany, or Tiff. We were married for about 6 years, and our daughters were 4 and 5 at the time. She went on a trip she claimed was with the girls, but it turned out it was with her boss. One evening, she called from the Caymans and told me she had been seeing him for about a year and wasn't coming back. She said she didn't want the house, the kids, or anything else. Her sister Monica would come by the next morning to pick up her things and her car. I had no idea this was coming. I asked her why, and she told me I was boring and not attractive. She wanted excitement, not just a family beach vacation. Ava couldn't help it. Tears filled her eyes as she touched his arm. In a whisper, she asked, "She didn't want the girls." He shook his head. She said many hurtful things. Even the man she was with told her to stop. How did you move on? It seems like you're still struggling if you're not ready after 6 years. I got filled with anger. I cast away all my feelings for her, all the memories and dreams we shared. It felt like I had to burn it all away to get rid of the pain and the emptiness she left behind. I got rid of everything in our home that reminded me of her. All the pictures, traces of her gone. Except for the girls' rooms, right? Exactly. Then I focused on losing weight, working out, and I quit my job. I took our savings and retirement to buy a nursery. My entire attention was on our daughters until you came along. Did she ever come back? Yes, once. About 15 months later, she showed up while the kids were at a party. She said she had made a huge mistake and wanted to come back. She looked different and said she regretted everything. I told her she was welcome to see the kids, but there was nothing left for us. I let her in, and she looked around, muttered something about how it was like she had never lived there, and she left. She never came back after that. Her mom was upset that I wouldn't take her back. Her sister Monica was angry because I wouldn't remarry her after the divorce. He shrugged. That's tough, Bart. But the way you handled it? Wow, but you still owe me dinner, she said with a small smile. What? I think mine's worse. Much worse. So, tell me. We were married for 2 years. I was at my mom's for a visit and I found out I was pregnant. I rushed home to share the happy news, but when I got there, I found the man I loved in our bed with another woman. Just like Tiffany, he was being unfaithful to me. I walked to the front and saw Emily. Your friend Emily? She nodded. I found out they had been together for 6 months. He had started pursuing her shortly after we got married. I didn't know anything about it until I went to her wedding to him 7 months later. Somehow I got invited, and I was so angry that I went and sat in the back. No one, not even her parents, knew that she was involved with a man who was married to her best friend. So, I did something I shouldn't have. I stood up in the back and shared the details of their relationship. Right then, my water broke and I went into labor while telling the story. I had Rose in a strange hospital with a new doctor. She married him anyway, but it didn't last long. I think I really ruined their day. Her mom left the reception to help me. So how did you and she reconnect? You seem very close now. It was at her mom's funeral. I used to visit her mom once or twice a month. She was like a second mom to me, and I always wanted to make her happy. After she passed, I really felt the loss. I needed her. In a quiet voice, she added, "Just like I need you, Bart. You left a big emptiness when you took the girls with you. I'm sorry, Stop. There's a saying about karma that goes something like this. If you trust someone completely, you either learn a lesson or you find a person who stays with you for life. And that's me. I would never betray you, hurt you, or leave you. I couldn't do that to you or the girls. I will always be here to support you and show you how much I care. And if you ever hurt me again, I'll make sure you know how wrong that is. But the girls? Your daughters are almost teenagers. Like most kids, they might not always see things the way you do. It might seem like everything you do is wrong in their eyes. Soon enough, they'll be off to college. What will you do then, Bart? If you're wise, you'll have me by your side for the long haul. Please, Bart, let down your walls and let me in. Ava, forget this. She moved closer, took his face in her hands, and kissed him while pushing him back on the bed. She climbed on top and continued to kiss him. She sighed as he tried to move away, but she held on tight. He softened and then grew more passionate, wrapping his arms around her while she held onto his neck. The kiss deepened, and a soft sigh escaped her as she explored his back. She pulled back and took a breath. I promise, Bart, I have never wanted anything more in my whole life. So here's the plan. I'm staying over tonight, and you can't get rid of me. I don't mind if we get married or not, but your kids are my kids, and my kid is yours. We need to talk about having another. Now I will go check on the girls to make sure they're okay. I might have scared them a little. I'll see if they can keep themselves busy for a few hours. Then I will come back, lock the door, and try to be quiet until the phone alarm goes off. After that, we will all go out for dinner. Understand?" He nodded. She smiled and said, "Don't try to sneak away. I promise I won't hurt you. Much. Promise me you won't do anything silly until I return. He's my focus right now, and we'll see about that comment made earlier. I bet Tiff was mistaken." She kissed him again and laughed. "Oh, those kids. Come on, girls. Let's sit on the bed and talk for a few minutes, okay?" She sat down and they gathered around her. "First, I'm really sorry for raising my voice. That's not the right way to handle things. I hope I didn't scare you, and some of the words I used weren't nice. Sometimes your dad. Well, you know how he can be. Please don't use those words, all right?" They nodded. "Secondly, you all know how much I care about you and how much time I want to spend with you, right?" They nodded again. "What would you think if the 5 of us became one big happy family? We could spend more time together, and sometimes I could stay here with Rose. What do you think? It would be like I was your mom, and your dad would be like Rose's dad. Would that be okay?" All 3 jumped to hug her. Yes, 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 that's exactly what Mac and I wanted. Rose, is that okay with you too? Sharing your mom with us while you have dad? Yes, that sounds great, but where would I sleep? Ava hugged them all. We have lots to figure out, Rose, and there might be some bumps along the way, but the most important thing is that we all love each other, right? Right, they all echoed. I have a big favor to ask. Can you 3 keep yourselves busy for about 2 hours? Promise me no fighting or causing trouble? Maybe stay in here or watch TV. Just don't go outside. I need to have a serious talk with your dad, and we can't be interrupted unless it's really important, okay? After that, we'll go out for dinner. You can think about where you want to go in the meantime. Deal? They all nodded. So I will see you soon. She walked across the hall, opened the bedroom door, stepped inside, and locked it behind her. He was pacing the floor, and her heart sank. She felt a twinge of regret for leaving earlier, but decided to move forward. So, Bartholomew, where were we? He smiled, and she felt a bit relieved. That's not my name. She stepped closer, gently grasped the front of his shirt, and leaned in to kiss him. Bart and the woman shared a quiet moment, looking at each other with longing. She spoke softly, asking him to be close to her. They embraced, and he gently guided her to the bed where they lay side by side. As they kissed, her emotions surfaced, and she told him how much she missed him, how deeply she loved him. Their connection deepened, and they shared an intimate moment full of tenderness and affection. They held each other close, allowing their emotions to guide them as they expressed their love quietly and without words. Moments of laughter and light touches filled the space between them, and their bond grew stronger as they remained close together. The night passed as they remained intertwined, enjoying the warmth and comfort of each other's presence. It was a peaceful moment of connection, free from the outside world, where nothing else mattered except the two of them. Their love felt powerful, and they cherished the time they had together. He explored areas before with his hands. Now he was using his mouth. She felt every touch, and the sensation stayed with her even after he stopped. He moved to her sensitive spot, using his tongue gently, while his fingers returned to their task. He went faster, and her excitement grew. Everything felt like it was focused just there, building up and then releasing. She breathed out, "Wow, Bart!" She covered her mouth, realizing she might be too loud, so she grabbed a pillow to muffle herself as the feelings washed over her, and then she lay still. Pulling him closer, she directed him and guided him in. As he moved, a soft moan escaped her lips, and she held the pillow tighter. Once again, it felt like only her body existed as he moved slowly at first, then increased his pace. He would go deep, and then almost out, adjusting his rhythm. She was almost there, so very close. She squeezed his shoulders tightly, and he felt her hint. He quickened his movements. She held on tight, then let out a sigh and finally became still. When she took the pillow away, she kissed him and looked into his eyes. "I feel like I'm in heaven." She kissed him again. "Bart, I know it's been 5 years, but I've never experienced anything like that. It was amazing, and I still feel it. If I were a fly, I would never want to leave this moment, and I would bring all my friends to see it. I think the other person was very wrong about us. We're just getting started. Well, not quite. I won't say who, but someone promised the girls we would take them out to eat, so we need to get moving. What was I thinking? Maybe I'll just stay here for a bit and you can tell me how things went. Smiling, he said, Nope. Come on, lovely. It's time to wake up, get dressed, and let's go. Maybe later, when things settle down, we can return to this. Okay, I'll tidy up a bit. It's been a while. She hugged him and gave him another kiss. Thank you, Bart. Thank you for sharing this with me, she said, poking his chest playfully. That's not my name. What? You said that before. What do you mean it's not your name? It's Barton? Wow! That sounds so formal. Did your family have big hopes for you or something? You never mentioned them. I'm the oldest. The good kid. The one who got overlooked. My brother struggled in school even though he was very smart. My sister had her own challenges. They both had all the love, attention, and money they needed. They seemed to forget about me, and I forgot about them, too. I sometimes call my brother and mother out of habit, but it's something I wish I could stop. So, how did you turn out so well? He asked. He shrugged and smiled. This is nice. No worries about a mother-in-law? He laughed. Barton, I will take good care of you, and I promise to be the best mom to those girls. He helped her out of bed and nudged her toward the bathroom. All right, I'm leaving now. Are you ready, girls? Get your coats. It will be dark soon and it's getting cold. We don't want Mr. Frost getting too close, right? The girls giggled. Ava heard a scratching sound at the door. What's that? It sounds like someone is trying to get in. She opened the door and saw a woman about her age staring at her key. Hi, can I help you? My key won't work. I think I am at the right place. I used to live here. Ava looked at Bart. He stood still, and the color left his face. He recognized her voice. Ava glanced outside and then back at him. She felt a wave of panic when she saw his face. Bart? Bart? Why won't my key work? And who is she? Tiffany stepped inside the living room. But this place looks different. I don't understand. Staring at Bart, she said, No, that's not right. I must be here for a reason. Then she spotted the girls and rushed to Rose, hugging her tightly. Tears streamed down her face as she knelt to embrace her. Oh, Mackenzie, I've missed you so much. Have you missed your mommy? You look just like me. That's why I chose a special name for you instead of something silly. My name is Rose, and you aren't my mom. What? How can you say that? Rose pointed at Ava. She's my mommy. Rose broke free and ran to Ava, wrapping her arms around her waist. Tiffany gasped. It can't be. You two are too big, too old. Mackenzie? Holly? The girls stood still, staring at this unfamiliar woman. Tiffany crawled closer and hugged the two girls tightly. Oh, my babies, Mommy will never leave again. I love you and have missed you every single day. The girls stood frozen, unsure of what to do or how to react. Tiffany looked at Bart. How could I have left them? She let go of the girls, stood up, and rushed back to Bart. She kissed him gently, holding him close. Oh, Bart, I've missed you the most. But I think I hurt you, didn't I? I made a terrible mistake. There's a reason I'm here, but I can't remember why. Why am I here? How did I get here? Looking around, she said, But everything is different. Bart, you got rid of all our things, our furniture, our pictures. Why? She then turned to Ava. And who are you? Tiffany, this is Ava, a friend of ours. Tiff spun around and glared at Bart. Are you cheating on me? Ava felt tense as Tiffany looked at her and went on. What kind of woman would come into my home and my bed with my husband? She turned to Bart. A week! I make a mistake for a week and you bring another woman here in front of the kids? Then she turned back to Ava. And you? How could you? Now pack your things and leave. I don't know what's happening, but the only things of mine here are my coat and my daughter. I've never stayed here overnight. From what I know, you are the one who left for another man, forgot her kids, and divorced her husband. What are you talking about? There is no divorce, no separation. That, she pointed at Bart, is my husband. This is my home, and those are my kids. Look at my wedding ring. She held it up and then stopped. Bart? That's not the ring you gave me. It's different. I loved that ring. It was so pretty. I spent hours just looking at it. Bart, today was great, thank you. This feels like a story or something, but I'm going to take Rose and go home. She turned to the other girls. Sorry about dinner and our big plans. She went over and hugged both of them, whispering, and don't worry, things will work out. Remember, just call or text me and I will always be here for you. Love you both. As she stood, Bart came over and hugged her, kissed her, and pulled her aside. Ava, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. This is crazy. She's acting strange. But I love you and don't feel anything for her, only frustration. It all fell apart, remember? I love you. Please give me a chance to figure this out. She nodded. Please don't hurt me, Barton. The pain would swallow me up, please. He turned to Tiffany. Would you two like to go with Ava while she and I sort this out? They both nodded. Ava, can you take them and keep them until I get back? I'm not sure this is the right place for them. No, absolutely not. They are my kids and I say no. Well, they are our kids and I said it's okay. Go, all of you now, please. Ava nodded and quietly mouthed, I love you. Come on, girls. Looks like another girls' night. As she walked out, she shook her head and felt tears forming. She thought, another one of the happiest days of my life, and it's ruined, just like the last one. Why is this happening to me? What if Bart has been lying? No, I refuse to believe that. Still, the tears fell as she drove the girls back to her mom's house. What is going on, Tiff? You're acting like you've been away for days. You thought Rose was our daughter? What's happening? You haven't seen the girls in 6 years? I haven't seen you in 5 years, and that was just for a short time when you came and went. Tiffany looked around the room without saying anything. Tiffany, what's wrong? Are you okay? 5 years? That can't be true, Bart. Wait, that's why I've come. She moved closer and hugged him tightly. Bart, I need to say I'm sorry. I don't even remember what happened, but I know I hurt you and it's been bothering me. I had to come here to ask for your forgiveness. I promise I won't let it happen again. How did I even get here? It was a long time ago, Tiffany. I forgive you. Thank you. She glanced around, looking confused. But I don't understand. He looked surprised. Tiff, Holly is 11, Mac is 10. You left when they were little. You called from the Caymans and said you were with someone else and didn't want anything to do with us. She looked scared and lost. But it's okay, Tiff. I've forgiven you. It's all in the past now. She started to shake. Bart, something is wrong. I don't remember anything. I don't even know how I got here. She stepped closer, hugging him tightly. Bart, I don't know what I've done, but I need you. Something told me to come back to you. She began to cry. I'm scared. I don't understand. I need your strength. I need your help. I need your love. But I don't feel it anymore. It's gone, isn't it? Oh no, I ruined your love for me. I have to go, but where can I go? I don't know where I came from or what's happening. Where did this ring come from? It's not the one you gave me. Oh, I loved that ring. She tried to step away, but he held her back. In a kind, calming voice, he said, Tiff, wait. Sit down. We'll figure this out together. You have a wedding ring on. Are you married? Should I call someone? She looked puzzled, then looked worried. That's not the ring you gave me. I don't know, Bart. Wait, Alan. I'm married to Alan. Where is he? He always took good care of me. I don't know, Tiff. Have you talked to Monica or your mom? I'm not sure. I don't remember talking to them. What if I call Monica? Maybe she can help. Why don't we go to the bedroom and you can rest while I make some calls? Okay. He led her to the bedroom. Just lie down for a bit. She was in here. She looked at him with sadness. With you. How could you? Tiff, it's been 5 years. This is a misunderstanding. Let's go check Holly's room. It should look the same as when you left. He took her across the hall. Yes, I remember this room. The colors and curtains are just like before. I chose those curtains. The same bed and dresser. Lie down, Tiffany, please. You look tired. She lay down and quickly fell asleep. He went out, closed the door, and called Monica, hoping she had answers and wouldn't just give him a hard time like usual. What do you want, Bart? Tiffany is here. What? Mom and I haven't heard from her in years. We tried to find her but had no luck. Well, she's here and she's acting really odd. She thought we were still married. She can't remember what she's done. She hugged Rose and thought she was Mac. Then she says she's married to a guy named Alan and has a wedding ring on. Do you know where she lives or how to reach Alan? Oh, wow. Drugs? No, she never told us anything. I don't know why. She was dating a guy named Alan near Chicago, but then we lost touch. It's always been strange. I don't understand why she didn't just call to check in. I don't think it's drugs. Hold on, let me check outside. She came in a car with Illinois plates. He opened the door and the trunk. No suitcase or anything. She didn't even have a purse. So what do you think? I think there's something wrong, really wrong. Drugs, maybe a mental health issue or an injury. I don't know. I was going to let her sleep for a bit, then get her to eat something, and then see if I can take her to the hospital. Can you forget your issues with me long enough to help? Or am I on my own? There's no issue, Bart. What about the kids? Ava has them. I thought that was best until we sort things out. Good. Of course I'll help, Bart. I'll tell Mom and head over soon. It'll take me about an hour or so. Just keep her there. I won't let her leave. There was a soft knock on the door and he opened it. Hi, Bart. I can see why you'd want to stay away from family. Anything new? She's still sleeping. I checked the car. It's in her name and has an address in a Chicago suburb. No purse, but there's cash in the console. No suitcase, just some empty coffee cups and no clue how she paid for them unless she used that cash. It's all a mystery. Wow, this is like a TV show. The bedroom door opened and a sleepy Tiffany came out. Where am I? Bart? I must be home, but why was I sleeping in Holly's room? Monica hurried over and hugged her sister. Hey, Tiffany. It seems like things have gotten a bit confusing for you. How are you? Where did you come from? What about your things? I don't know. She looked at Bart and burst into tears. I just knew I had to get to Bart so he could help me and help me be strong. No, I needed him to forgive me. Bart, I am so sorry for what I did to you and the kids, for what I said. It was terrible. Wait, who is she? Your girlfriend? A different girlfriend? I don't understand. Tiff, this is your sister Monica. Tiffany looked at Bart, then at Monica. Why don't I know you? Why can't I remember? She stopped talking and started to lean down when Bart caught her and hugged her tightly. She held on to him like she was sinking. Tiff, you have a wedding ring. Are you married? You never told Mom or me. Tiffany raised her hand and looked at the ring. I'm married to... Then she glanced at Bart. No, that's not the ring you gave me. I loved that ring. Where is it? Did you take it? Tiff, both Monica and I think there is something going on that is making you confused. We want to take you to the emergency room and have the doctors check you out. Is that okay? Will you come, Bart? I need you to be there. I need you to hold my hand and help me. I have a memory of doing something terrible to you, but it's not clear. I'm sorry for whatever it was, but please, she said, filled with desperation. Please help me. But there's a reason I'm here. I need something from you, but I can't remember. Tiff, everything will be all right. I will stay with you while we figure this out. Are you hungry? She shook her head. Well, here's a glass of iced tea like you used to enjoy. At least drink that. Let me find a coat to warm you up. There was nothing in the car and it's getting cold outside. It is December after all. December? Oh my goodness. What has happened to me? It's okay, Tiff. We'll sort this out. Ready to go? Take the drink with you? He put his arm around her and helped her down the steps and into the back seat of his car. Monica, why don't you sit back there with her? Hello, I'm Dr. Stillworth. Are you Tiffany Wagner's family? Yes, I'm Bart Wagner, her ex-husband. This is Monica Jacobs, her sister. So she just showed up at your house after 5 years? No purse, clothes, anything? And you, Miss Jacobs, haven't talked to her since then either? Yes, Dr. Stillworth. Has she mentioned a home, family, husband, job? She has a wedding ring on. She must have talked about those things with you. The last time she called, which was years ago, she was very vague about everything. She just said everything was great and that she loved her job but didn't share details. I asked her directly whether she was dating anyone special, and she said there was one very special guy. I joked about time passing, and she said she had to go. She told me she was married to a man named Alan. Her car is registered to an address outside Chicago. I couldn't find a phone number. Her drug test came back negative. We will conduct a more in-depth analysis, but it doesn't seem like drugs are involved. It also doesn't seem to be a mental health issue. We think something is going on in her mind. We would like your permission to do an MRI of her head. We've started an IV, and we need to calm her down a bit to keep her still. Bart, She keeps asking for you. Maybe you could stay with her while we do some of this, so we don't have to use too much sedation. What do you think? Sure, I'll help however I can. The doctor led him to the waiting area. Hi, Tiff. How are you feeling? Scared. Really scared. I don't understand what's happening. I'm so confused. Why am I here? It's okay, Tiff. The doctors just want to run some tests. Your blood work looked fine, and now they need to take some x-rays of your head and do an MRI to make sure everything is all right. It won't hurt. The doctor said there will just be some strange noises. Will you be with me? Bart, please. I need you to hold my hand and make me feel safe. I'm so sorry for whatever I did. I really need your forgiveness. I forgive you for everything, Tiff. We had 6 great years together, and I appreciate the time we shared and our 2 lovely daughters. She squeezed his hand. Thank you. I think I needed to hear that. I feel like I'm fading. She started to stare blankly. Don't worry, I'm not leaving until everything is taken care of. He went to change into a proper outfit. He wore only a gown, no wallet or anything else. He took a moment to call Ava. Ava, how are you? How are the girls? Forget about me. What's happening with you? I'm at the hospital with Monica and Tiff. They think something is wrong with her head, so they're doing some x-rays and an MRI. She really wants me to stay. Is that okay? You have to stay. She's the mother of your kids and needs support. Just keep me updated, but please don't put yourself in danger. I care about you. I won't, and I care about you too. I'm making a heart shape with my hands. Go help her and keep me informed. The kids are all asleep. The doctor entered with Monica and another doctor. Tiffany? But Tiffany was staring blankly, not really focused on anything. I need to talk to you both. We need a neuropsychologist to evaluate her. It appears that she has early onset dementia, possibly Alzheimer's. But doctor, she's still in her 30s. Alzheimer's. I understand, Bart. We often think Alzheimer's only affects older people, but it does happen to those in their 30s and 40s too. It's rare, but around 10% of cases do occur in younger individuals. Tiffany seems to be at a moderate stage. This means she has been dealing with this for a while, and frankly, I don't see how she could have taken care of herself. You can see how she seems a bit lost right now. I'm surprised she was as clear as she was earlier. Well, she recognized me but didn't know her sister. That's odd, right? But that's how it goes. The brain gets jumbled, then starts to piece things back together. Someone has been taking good care of her, though. Bart, Monica, we need to find out where she came from and who has been helping her. Tiffany, you have a wedding ring on. Do you know who gave it to you or where you were coming from? She focused her eyes and looked at Bart. Bart, this isn't the one you gave me. I remember. Who? Her face turned scared and panicked. I can't remember. Help me, please. What's happening? Bart held her hand. Tiff, we'll figure this out. Try not to worry. We will take good care of you. So what's next, doctor? We want to do a few more tests and keep her here overnight. We'll start her on some medicine to help her think better. Maybe one of you could stay with her. She knows both of you, and that might help keep her calm when she feels confused. After that, if she stays here, we need to talk to social services about her care. She can't be left alone. Monica, what if you stay for a bit? I'll go back and look at the car. I can check the address on the registration and maybe get the police involved. They might help us find some answers. Sure, Bart. That sounds good. As he was leaving, the doctor called out to him. Bart, can I talk to you for a minute? Didn't you mention she had 2 kids? He nodded. Well, sometimes this can be inherited. There are a few markers we check for that might show a higher risk. I suggest you talk to a specialist to see if you want to have the kids tested. There are good and bad points to both sides. If they don't have the markers, it means they are like everyone else, and you can feel relieved. If they do, it doesn't mean they will definitely have issues, but it is something to consider. No need to rush. Just wanted to let you know. Thanks, doctor, and thank you for everything. It's been a really strange day. She's only part of it. Bart drove home and checked the car again. Registration, insurance info, inspection sticker. Wait, the registration was for Tiffany Wagner, but an inspection receipt showed Tiffany Renfro. He kicked himself for not noticing that earlier. He realized being a private investigator wasn't the right path for him. He ran inside and got on the computer. There it was on Facebook. A husband, 2 young boys, lots of fun family events. He logged in and sent a message. He looked up more information. There was a number. He dialed it, and a man answered. "Hi, I'm sorry to call so early. This is Bart Wagner. You don't know me, but—" "Tiffany's first husband? That Bart? I'm Alan Renfro, her husband now. What can I do for you, Bart?" "I'm a bit busy." She's here. Tiffany is here. Safe. In the hospital getting checked. Her sister Monica is with her." "Oh, thank goodness. We've been so worried. She left the house while I was on a call, and the car is gone. Is she okay? Did something happen?" "We called the police." "No, she's fine physically, but it's just the early signs of Alzheimer's." "Right. That's what the doctors said. What should we do next?" "I should have gone with her. I can't believe she made it. Her purse is still here. She kept saying she needed to see you and the girls." There was something she had to say, but she couldn't remember what. She was focused on it like a strong memory. "I thought we could call you and video chat, but then she'd lose that thought. She doesn't always know who the kids and I are." Bart could sense his struggle to hold back tears. "That must be so hard, Alan. I'm really sorry to hear that. It's tough for me, too, and I haven't seen her in 6 years. My mom can take care of the twins. I'll catch the next flight. Which airport is closest?" "I'd go with the one in Raleigh. We're about halfway between. They'll have the most flights, probably direct from Chicago. Send me your flight details and I'll pick you up." "Yes, Chicago, I'll do that. Thanks for all your help with her. She never shared what happened between you two, but it always bothered her. She's got friends and co-workers who will be relieved to know she's okay." "I'm pleased to hear she found happiness. Thank you for that, Alan. I'll see you when you arrive." He drove back to the hospital. Monica held Tiffany's hand as Tiffany looked out the window. He nodded to Monica and gave her a thumbs up. "Hi, Tiff. Oh, Bart, I'm so glad you're back." She hugged him and held on. "You're the reason." Then she pushed him away. "Wait, that's it. I remember now. Bart, what I did to you and the girls was wrong. Unforgivable. I don't know why I acted that way, but I'm sorry. Truly sorry. I loved you so much. You were the best husband, father, and everything else. I was unkind when I said I was leaving. I regret what happened and needed to tell you that. I have Alzheimer's and sometimes I forget for days. I want to see the girls too, to tell them I'm sorry. But if I can't before then, can you let them know?" She cried and leaned on his shoulder. "Bart, I am just so sorry," still holding her. "It's okay, Tiffany. I forgive you. The girls are happy and only have good memories of their time with you. We all forgive you. Everyone makes choices they wish they could change. And I'm so glad to hear you found joy in a new life." I talked to Alan. She pushed back and let out a soft sound of hurt. "Oh no, Alan, I think I might have left without telling him. I keep making the same mistake. Now I've hurt him. He's such a good person, Bart. He looks after me so well, and I love him so much. The twins, my little ones, I left my little ones. The twins are fine and Alan is all right. His mom will take care of them and he's flying here today. I'll pick him up at the airport. I feel like I am too much to handle. Bart, I'm slowly fading away. Everything about me is just disappearing little by little each day. I hate this. Who I am, what I know, everyone I love, all my memories, they are just slipping away, and I can't stop it no matter how hard I try. It's just all gone. I try to write things down, but then it doesn't make sense to me. I care for Alan so deeply, and he makes me feel happy, but sometimes I feel like I don't even know him. It's so unfair to him. I can see it tearing him apart day by day as I forget what's happening. He looks so tired, and worse, on many days, I don't even know I'm doing this. I just wish it would all stop. I think about doing something drastic, but I know he would blame himself, and with a short laugh, I'd probably forget what I was doing anyway. I need to see him, Bart. I need to say I'm sorry to him too. Can you take me? He's on his way. I'll pick him up later this morning. I don't think you really need to be here since you already know what's happening. What if we take you back to the house? Do you want to go to our old house or Monica's or your mom's? She pointed at Bart. Great. Let's see about getting you out of here. A worried look crossed her face. Bart, I need to say I'm sorry to you too. I was so mean. I shouldn't have acted that way. I need you to forgive me. What was I saying? Then she went quiet and stared out the window, lost in thought. Monica began to cry. Oh, Bart, why her? He shrugged. Who knows? Life never seems fair. Things just go wrong sometimes. Let me see what we can do to get her home. You can rest there if you want. You must be tired. We can put a bell on the bedroom door and the front door so you'll know if she gets up. I would watch her, but I need to go to the airport. Could you keep an eye on her while I pick him up?" Bart drove to the airport pickup area, spotted Alan from the family photos, and got out of the car. "Hello? You must be Alan. I'm Bart. Let me help you with that bag. It looks heavy." "Yeah, sorry, it's all her things. Meds, and sometimes she changes outfits a lot." "Got it. How are you holding up, Alan? This is so tough for me to see her like this. But I can only imagine how hard it is for you. How long have you been married?" "About 4 years or so. I should tell you what she's shared with me to help you understand our situation." Chase ended things with her after a few months, and she felt really embarrassed about how it happened. She was too scared to come back and see you or her family, so she moved to Chicago. I met her at work, and we started dating around the time your divorce was finalized. We got serious pretty quickly, but you and the kids were always on her mind. I told her that before we could move forward, she needed to make sure everything with you was truly over. When she finally came back to your place, she was surprised by all the changes. It hit her hard that you had moved on without her. She planned to apologize and ask for your forgiveness, but she panicked and left pretty soon after arriving. She stayed for about 15 minutes and hardly spoke. She just looked around a lot. The kids were at a party, so she didn't get to see them. Anyway, she was ready to start fresh. We got married at the courthouse with just my family there. She felt she had messed up her past and needed to completely begin anew without anyone from her old life. Then she became pregnant, and we had twins. After they were born, she began to act differently. She would forget things, struggle to find the right words, and lose her focus. Everyone thought it was just fatigue from taking care of the twins, which made sense because it was really tough. One of them was always awake or needing something. But things got worse. She became frustrated and upset, so we visited many doctors. Eventually, we got an MRI that revealed what was happening. She accepted it, and medication helped a bit, but her condition continued to progress. In the 4 years of our marriage, one was fantastic, the best year of my life. Now, though, I have a wife who has moderate dementia, moving towards severe. Many times, she gets really scared because she doesn't recognize me and wonders why a strange man is helping her. It's really hard. To make matters worse, she became obsessed with the idea of apologizing to you. She just couldn't stop thinking about it. I planned to bring her back to see you, but she surprised me by coming here on her own. She said she was sorry. I forgave her. But then she kept repeating it and then would forget again. I'm not sure she will remember that we made peace once things settled down for her. I would be glad to tell her that everything is forgiven. But if you take her home, maybe consider recording a message saying we had 6 wonderful years together and that the kids think of her fondly. You could play it for her when she's feeling more like herself again. I think it might help. That sounds like a good idea. Look, Alan, I really want to help, and I should tell you that she loves you very much and is so grateful for how well you take care of her. She knows this is really hard for you, and she feels bad for causing you pain. She said that she would do anything for you because she loves you, but she thinks you will blame yourself if something happens to her. She even joked about standing on a bridge, but said she would probably forget why she was there. So, I think she still understands some of what's going on. I'm really sorry, Alan. I probably shouldn't have said anything. No, I appreciate you telling me. I would do anything to help her, but then she has good days with the kids and we feel close again. Then she disappears. I really don't know. She might not be with us for much longer. It's been getting worse quickly. Alan, the doctor mentioned something about a genetic reason for her early Alzheimer's. Did you check on the boys? No, I didn't need to. Tiffany wanted to get tested herself, and she's clear, so the kids are fine. They say her case is random. They don't know why it happened to her. Just bad luck. Or a mix of good and bad luck. At least that's good news about the kids. I'm not sure if I would get them tested or not. If it's positive, they might always worry about it. You can try to lessen their risks, but still. I see what you mean. Here we are. They got out, and Bart hugged Alan. Alan, I'm really sorry you're going through this, but I respect how strong you're being. Most guys wouldn't stick around like you have. I want to help you however I can. I don't have much money. I spent it all on my nursery, but I can use some savings to help if needed. You'd really do that? Alan, Tiffany and I have a lot of history. She's the mother of my kids. Well, your kids are her kids' half-brothers or something like that. She needs support, and so do you. I'd rather support you directly than give to a big group where I don't know what happens. So yes, I would help. Alan wiped his eyes. Thank you. I may really need that. He took a deep breath. Let's see if Tiffany is at home or somewhere else. Alan, this is Monica, Tiffany's sister. Right. He gave her a hug. Sorry we haven't met. I think she wanted to leave her past behind after getting sick. She's still resting. The hospital took a lot out of her. They did a lot of tests that might not have been needed if we had known more of her background. I didn't even know about your marriage or the boys. I don't know why she kept that to herself. Maybe she started having issues after they were born. I think she wanted to protect you and your mom from worrying about her. I tried to get her to share with you, but she wouldn't. I'm sorry. How old are the twins? They're 3. How are you managing, Alan? All 3 of them are a handful. Alan just shrugged. One day at a time. I try to work enough to pay the bills. It's really the only option, so where is she? Monica guided him to Holly's room. He looked around with doubt, which Monica noticed. It's not what you think, Alan. This room is just how she left it 6 years ago. The others are very different. She felt more at home here. Oh, I see. That makes sense. Hi, Tiff. How are you today? I've missed you. He leaned down to kiss her, and tears rolled down his cheek. Her eyes opened slowly. Alan, I'm so sorry. I think I just vanished. She looked around. Monica, what's happening? Oh, right, I'm at Bart's. She turned back to Alan. But I didn't mean it like that. I came to say I'm sorry, I think. I would never. I love you more than anything. I know, it's okay. You don't have to apologize. I love you, dear. Let's get you up, have something to eat and drink, and get you cleaned up. I brought your medicine with me. Then in a day or 2 we can go home to see the boys. She suddenly hugged him. Thank you, Alan, for caring for me and sticking with me. I feel terrible about this. It's not a problem. You'd do the same for me. Before lunch wrapped up, she seemed to drift away again, unresponsive to questions. Alan, I'm not sure where you live around Chicago, but it's probably about a 14-hour drive. I still can't believe Tiff made it here. If she can handle the drive, we could leave as it gets dark and be there by dawn. That way she might sleep most of the trip and we'd avoid traffic. Unless you think she might feel anxious about the journey. I'll do whatever you think is best. I assume we should drive, right? No planes too crowded. But if we went during the day, she could see the scenery. I could drive while you sit in the back with her. I'm open to anything. What do you think? Bart, I couldn't ask you to do that. You aren't asking. I'm volunteering. I need a break from work. But Alan, you don't really know me. Tiff is my sister and I want to help. We've been apart for too long and I want to reconnect, even if just for a little while. I want to be there for her. I can come with you and help out. I can take care of the boys, cook, clean, run errands, and look after her while you work. I promise I won't be in the way. I don't have much money. No, don't worry about money. I just want to help my sister, help you, and meet my nephews. My job is flexible, so I can work from anywhere. I can make it work. She's going to get worse before she calms down, right? You can't do everything on your own when she starts feeling lost. It was lucky she made it here without getting lost or hurt. Please, I want to help. No, I really need to do this. All right, both of you. When do you want to go? Well, I have to drive home to grab some things if I'm going to stay. It takes about an hour each way. And you should talk to Ava. Yes, I need to catch Ava up on everything. But we could leave tonight if you want, or tomorrow. It's your choice, Alan. Let's leave tonight if that's okay. She's really tired from the drive and the hospital. I can give her a little medicine to help. That way she'll be back home in familiar surroundings first thing tomorrow, and she can see her boys. That might help her. Is that all right? Absolutely. Let me take her car. I still don't know how she got here without her purse, and I'll fill it up, check the tires, talk to Ava, and then I'll be back. I'll head home now to pack, and then return in about 3 hours. He pulled out his phone. Ava, I need to talk to you before I leave for Chicago. Picking up the girls from school. I'll be back at my house soon and we'll call then, okay? Chicago? Long story. Call me when you're home. A few minutes later she called. I love you, Ava. I've been so distant and... I know, and I will remind you about the time we've lost. So what's going on? He explained everything. Oh, wow. You're going to help, right? Do they need to stay with us? What can we do to help? Alan thinks she would be better off at home, so I'm driving them there tonight, helping them settle in, and then I'll catch a flight back whenever I can, probably tomorrow. Monica is coming with us to stay and help. Just between us, I have a feeling she might stick around even after Tiffany finds peace. Really? I never would have imagined that. People can surprise you. When help is needed, it's good to answer. I think she also needs to feel needed. Alan and the kids will rely on her. It might be tough. Just so you know, you'd better rest on that flight. We have some big plans to discuss when you come back. What kind of plans? Can't say right now, but I will pick you up from the airport in a surprising way to get your mind thinking all the way home. I like the sound of that. Tuesday afternoon, all four got out of the van. Bart came out of the house, knelt, and hugged all three girls. Have I told you how much I missed and love you three? Come on, Dad. You were only gone for like 3 days. We had girls' nights. It was fun. He frowned. Oh, stop pouting. We missed you. Yeah, we missed your cooking. All four girls laughed at that. I should make you all evil daughters again for that one. Sure, whatever. You three go inside. He stood and turned to Ava. Sorry I couldn't pick you up, Bart, but your flight got in right at pickup time. It's okay, but thinking about the Uber driver was a bit strange. He wasn't my type. I missed you, Ava. He hugged her and they shared a long kiss. Ava opened her eyes and saw the kids watching and giggling. Get inside, you silly kids. I need to welcome your father home. Well, Barton, you made a big mistake. I know, I should have called more. No, it's not about that. I know it's been busy and I'm proud of you for helping her. Your problem is you gave me and the girls too much time to think. Way too much time. He smiled. Oh. First, some important things. The girls were really shocked when their mom suddenly showed up and didn't recognize them at all. So we had long talks about life, mental health, and what it means to be human making mistakes, feeling regret, and forgiveness. And finally, we talked about facing your mistakes and fears and trying to make things right instead of running away. I think they understand better now and have decided to remember their mom from the pictures instead of the woman who came to the door. They have grown up a lot. Any questions? No, I think it's great you helped them with that. I was. Well, I expected the worst and was really worried about that talk, so thank you. I appreciate it more than I can say. I'm glad to help. You know how much they mean to me, and it was good for Rose, too. And that's the end of the serious talk for now, folks. Now, let's get to the fun stuff. First, we all want those dark green shirts with our names on them like you wear at the nursery. Okay, that sounds good so far. Second, I still want to give you a special welcome home after the girls go to bed. Sounds good. Then this weekend, you will help me move out of Mom's place and into yours. She held up her hand. No, I've already talked to the girls about it, and we have it all planned. And soon you are going to marry me so I can adopt Holly and Mackenzie, and you can adopt Rose. But wait, there's more. We're also going to plan a vacation in the mountains so the kids can learn to snowboard, skate, tube, and all that. We will enjoy a lovely sleigh ride together as a family. And on top of that, we are planning a beach trip this summer. All of us will go together. This time you and I will share a room, not like last time when I had to sleep with Rose. And we will really enjoy our lives and cherish every single moment because, she started to cry, because it could have been either of us instead of Tiffany. Each day is a gift, and we should have no regrets. You must promise me to take care of yourself always. In return, we will make sure you feel happy, see a smile on your face every day, and live in a home so full of love that it feels overwhelming. Overwhelming? She ignored his question and continued. Do we have an agreement, Barton? I really love that name. The girls also mentioned wanting another baby, maybe Barton Wagner III. What about Junior or something similar? The third sounds much better with that name. We could still use it if the baby is a girl. I really like it. Now kiss me again. Wait, you haven't agreed yet. I agree to your plans, ma'am. But I didn't have much of a choice, right? 4 against 1? Exactly. And this is just the beginning, so get ready. The best years of your life are about to start. I can't wait. Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of the exciting stories we have coming up. What do you think about the characters in this story? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.